What is up, everybody? Welcome to ToothAndTailTV, the show where you submit replays and we cast them. I am Delthius, and not joining me tonight is Icebox. He is still dealing with little baby Ice Chip. So, how's everybody doing, man? How's everybody's weekend? I got to tune in to the grudge matches yesterday on Mishi's channel. That was a lot of fun. Really excited for the stuff that Bannered Bastion's been coming up with lately. I got a lot of stuff on the docket here tonight. We're probably not going to make it through all of it, but if it's your first time joining us, welcome to Tooth and Tail TV. We do the show every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. EST. There's a email underneath the Twitch profile to send me replays. Please submit replays, guys. I cannot do the show without them. ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. I think that's right. Yeah, should be right. Just check the link underneath the show. I hope everybody had a good weekend, man. I totally slouched this weekend, man. I just frumped around the whole time. I've been so gung-ho the last couple weeks with TwitchCon, and then I had a business trip, and I play in a couple rock bands, and I had a bunch of gigs last weekend, so this previous weekend, a couple days ago, man, I didn't do anything, dude. I canceled my plans, I sat around, and actually watched a lot of the BlizzCon stuff, man, the Overwatch tournaments, the StarCraft 2 tournaments. I'd love to talk about them, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen them yet. So, how's it going? Normally, I've got Icebox here to help me out with the chat, but I'm going to try to kind of glance over as it's going. I apologize, guys. I've been a little bit out of the loop. I saw Andy was streaming yesterday, and when Andy streams, that normally means balance changes are coming, right? So, let me know what those changes are, man. I'll kind of comment on them a little bit, I suppose. But, yeah, so we got a lot of good stuff lined up for tonight. I'm excited. I tried to organize it to hit unique submitters and the extra replays down here at the bottom. Got a couple of 2v2s and a free-for-all thrown in there as well. And, you know, I really appreciate everybody continuing to send me replays, man. It's a really great feeling. I was kind of nervous when I checked my Gmail yesterday. I was like, oh, I hope I have replay submissions. I don't have to beg in the Discord or something, but just crammed full of submissions. So thank you very much, everybody. If it's your first time submitting or if you're a constant submitter to the show, I really appreciate it. So let me get a sip of this coffee right here. What skins are being used tonight? I still have all the skins, man. What's going on with your death? I want to say like Death Knight Chameleon or Executioner Chameleon, man. That thing's really cool. Yeah, I don't have any intention on deleting any of the skins. Oh crap! I feel horrible. Somebody messaged me. Man, hang on. Let me give him a shout out. Awkward Fish Guy messaged me and has been making skins lately. Damn it, man. I meant to install it. I'm so sorry. Maybe during the break I'll scramble to install it, but for sure on Thursday night it'll be in. I apologize, man. I've been working a lot lately and it just kind of slipped my mind, so. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Flower Boy versus Best Sakuya. Let's do it. Alright, spawning in the 3 o'clock position, we've got Flower Boy. And in the 9 o'clock, we've got Best Sequoia NA. Man, speaking of Flower Boy, if anybody watched the Overwatch tournament over the weekend, man, that Korean player Flower, like, good God, dude. But the Flower Boy going on in this game, going ahead and taking that early campfire, which makes sense to kind of expand his territory out. And I've been seeing this a lot lately in replays I've been watching, where people kind of opt to take that campfire early rather than going up to 8 farms. So I'm kind of interested to see what he's going to do on the back end of this. Now, he's not making any additional farms at all yet, and not really super aggressive yet. I want to see what his next play is. Is it the turret? Yeah, he throws the turret down, so that makes sense why he wanted to get that campfire out. And this is the kind of defensive structures I love, man, because this one turret just establishes so much zone control, right? And he decides to sell it, which makes me look like an idiot, but hey, it's alright, we'll keep going. And, you know, to be fair, like, building a turret that early is kind of a waste, because early on it's really important to spend your money on economy and units and stuff like that. I mean, maybe he's got a little bit of history against Sequoia and was expecting some kind of all-in or early aggression. So, let me see. Oh, I did run a 50-minute game last time, Nikki. Did you? I think I ran it near the end, and I kind of skimmed through most of it, so maybe you tuned out before then, but I totally did run that one game Jester sent me to troll me. I don't mind if it's really long. I don't care. I'm just having this to have fun. But if it is a really, really long game, I'm probably going to skim through most of it just to make sure we hit a bunch of other submitters as well. And Flower Boy's not messing around, man. Like, he's coming in here for 9 squirrels already. And Sequoia kind of recognizing that builds a mole. And I really like this Gristmill tanking. Yeah, and I don't think he actually was unsuccessful on canceling any of those, so it was pretty good. And I love this use of moles to just kind of reinforce a push or reinforce a defense, and Flower Boy's already getting some pretty significant damage done. I mean, he's forced 2 moles out of Sequoia, he killed a Warren, but at the same time, yeah, I was about to say, he got to be mindful of his economy, right? Because he just started his 6th farm, I guess I should say, if you include the campfire, so he is a little bit behind on economy as compared to Sequoia here, and Sequoia maybe smelling a little blood in the water, wants to put on some aggression of his own, and the Mole doing a great job tanking in the front line, but Flower Boy's got the rallying advantage. You know, his units are spawning basically right at the front line of the battle, so he's able to fend that off relatively easily. And it doesn't look like Sequoia is playing around this game, though. I mean, he's still on 7 farms, and I think this is, what, Mole 3 or 4 out of Sequoia here, so he is serious, man. These guys are going hardcore, early aggression, not messing around at all. You can't really blame them, to be honest. I mean, the map is pretty small, and they're fairly close to each other, and I love this use out of the moles. I really think this is what the designers intended for it, right? Where it's not like this super cheesy, I'm gonna take you down with moles before you get any units out. It's like, I'm gonna use moles to reinforce my push, or maybe to help me defend in a clutch situation, and Sequoia getting the better out of that trade there, and he's gonna take that momentum advantage and try to push in with some moles, and he's got to be careful because that campfire is in pretty good poking position here for Sequoia, so if Flower Boy doesn't react now, and yeah, he gets that campfire, and yeah, Flower Boy's got the turret, but this is gonna be rough, man. I mean, Flower Boy's economy is very, very behind Sequoia's, so you gotta keep that in mind during these engagements. Like, yeah, Flower Boy's kinda coming out on top, but Sequoia is able to just keep racking up more and more food to re-secure himself and allow him to go into the mid-game in a much better position. So I'm not sure what he's thinking about with that Gristmill. Like, yeah, it is about time to expand, but these guys are playing so hard and heavy, man. I'm thinking maybe it's just like a defensive, damage-soaking kind of Gristmill. I'm not so sure if he's actually going to build any farms there, and Flower Boy might have read this situation a little incorrectly, though, and tried to get out a Tier 2 Warren, and he puts it in a very aggressive spot here, and if he's not careful, Sequoia is going to be able to knock that down, and that's why Sequoia took that turret. That makes sense, because he tried to take the campfire up front, but it was a little too contestable by Flower, so he takes the Gristmill behind him to be able to plant this front turret, and this is the exact type of turret use I love to see, man. Aggressive turrets, and turrets that create a lot of zones, and Winged Demons come out, but get mowed down really heavily. I mean, Winged Demons are really strong, but they're kind of like, you know, like a Hydralisk or something, where you gotta have a lot of meat up front to help defend them. So, really scrappy match, man. I love it. That was a great submission to start the night off on, for sure. So, how's everybody doing, guys? Thanks for joining me. Give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm still a streaming nub, and I don't have like a cough button set up, so I gotta like go to OBS and mute myself real quick. I know, it's super professional, guys. All right, let's hop into the second match of the night, Reza versus Peasant. Let's do it. All right, spawning in the 9 o'clock position as Hopper, we've got Reza, and in the 3 o'clock. As Bellified Peasant. And man, I love this map. Like, I can't say why exactly. Like, I don't know why, but just look at it, man. Like, it's really interesting, I feel like. And yeah, Reza's kind of screwed a little bit on expansions, which does suck for him, but you know, it's not necessarily the end of the world when that happens to you, man. Like, Reza's got a lot of options available to him. He does have this campfire right here, so what I really like to see out of Reza, this is kind of what I'm talking about when I talk about like an improvised strategy, right? Because you might have a game plan going into it, but then you get a spawn like this where you don't really have a natural expansion or a pocket base or anything like that. So, man, I would love to see Reza snag that campfire right there. Just, it looks like Peasant might? No. I think that's a really smart play. Just taking a campfire that's a little bit out of the way because, a lot of times your opponent's not going to find it quick enough, and even if they do, if they march their army over there to take it out, they're going to be out of position. So I think in this situation, Reza's kind of got two options here, right? Like, he can go for a very, very powerful one base all-in style play, and I would even kind of delay that until like the 4-minute mark when I push out, right? Because that's about when Peasant would be looking to take this natural expansion that he was so graciously gifted by RNGesus over here. I mean, look at that base, man. It's on the high ground. It's right outside his territory. Now, Peasant does have the drumfire cannon, so really, okay, so Reza's got two options. Sorry, I'm getting distracted already. So he either needs to go for a very aggressive one base all-in play, right, and just try to hammer down Peasant. And I feel like the timing of that attack should be geared towards about a minute and a half from now when Peasant, tries to start expanding and has invested, X amount of food into an expansion, and Reza's got all that money into an army. They can go ahead and attack. But Peasant's not messing around. He's going to take this forward expansion, and it's a very smart play out of Peasant. I mean, we're only at the 2-minute mark here, so that is a very greedy expansion. However, if Peasant can secure this expansion, then Reza is basically boned and takes that campfire. Really smart play, especially when you're in a situation like this, guys, where you don't have like an obvious expansion available to you. It makes a lot of sense to just snag that campfire because, like I said earlier, if the opponent doesn't find it within a minute or two, you're gaining value out of it. And even if they do find it, I mean, imagine if Peasant took his whole army down here to kill this campfire, right? Reza can move in and take out this gristmill, so Peasant is really committing to this forward gristmill, and I think that's the right move to make because I think I would do the exact same thing in Peasant's shoe. Notice how he hasn't committed any economy to that gristmill per se, but he has put some warrens out here, which to me is like, I'm not losing this spot, right? Because this gristmill is no longer a 60 food investment. Now it's a bigger investment with those warrens so close, and if Peasant is able to maintain this gristmill here, then he effectively keeps Reza from taking any expansion on the map. And that was when I was ranting earlier about Reza had two options, right? To do a one base all in. The second option was going to be to take that gristmill, or perhaps the noon, but I think this one would have been better because then he's really starting to put some map control out there, and we'll see. Peasant's not messing around anymore, and he's going to attack with his tier 2 out slightly before Reza's. Reza's got the chameleons, but they haven't come out quite yet, and a little bit of good targeting from Reza, or maybe a little bit of poor micro out of Peasant, and that's a ferret loss for him, but he's still into it. He's still into this attack, and Reza does have 2 chameleons out on the map. I know we can't see them. So there they are. And he's going to go in for this attack. We'll see if it works out for him. That ferret's got a very nice position in the back, but these chameleons and these scrappy, smaller, early game engagements like this just feel very, very powerful. Like, I'm not a top level player or anything, but to me, chameleons seem like this like early to mid game unit, because once the game gets later, it's going to be a lot easier to DPS those chameleons down. And Reza did lose his commander in that engagement, but was still able to come out on top. And those chameleons were kind of in the right position, and the AI just kind of took over and traded pretty well with Peasant's army. And Peasant lost that gristmill, but he's really can't afford to lose this territory here because he's got those forward warrens, and Reza coming in here again to really try to secure this high ground, and I can't stress enough how important this gristmill is for Reza in this game, right? Like, he's got to secure this gristmill or he's going to be in a very, very rough spot. Thank you for the follow, Red Sir. I appreciate it, man. Welcome to ToothAndTailTV. Excuse me, guys. Drinking my coffee. Gotta stay caffeinated so I'm nice and awake and wired for you nerds out there. So, Peasant effectively got sent back to the Stone Age as a result of that push, right? He lost his expansion, he lost his tier 2 Warren, and deciding to shift gears into a snake, but Peasant's really got to be careful, man. I don't want to see him building farms here. He's got to realize that Reza just doesn't have a good expansion option available to him, and yeah, Reza's up on those 2 campfires, and there he goes. Now that Reza can start to secure this middle of the map, he feels comfortable enough to take one of those gristmills that's a little out of position for him, and decides to move in here for the attack. And keep in mind, Peasant does have the defender's advantage, but man, those chameleons getting a lot of work done. I was a little worried with the defender's advantage and with the gristmill soaking up so much damage that might have gone a little more towards Peasant, but Reza did really good in those earlier engagements and kind of secured a victory over time there, right? So now those kind of seeds he's been sowing in those earlier engagements are starting to pay off, and it's really evident in the amount of Warrens both these players have here. I mean, Reza's just ahead on economy and on army value at this point, so really the ball's in Peasant's Court to get something done, and he's got one snake out. He's hoping that Reza's economy's in the shambles too. Moves out for the engagement. Some nice micro keeping the snake alive, but his front line just gets mowed down by those chameleons, man. And really good control coming out of Reza here, and good game sense to know when I need to engage and when I need to pull back, and kind of calculating I should be able to take this army. And it's hard for Peasant to really figure out. Now that I think about it, that's another kind of added addition of the chameleon, right? Because this army looks weak when you're staring at it, but then all of a sudden 3 chameleons coming out of the shadows and just start pounding down on all of you guys. God, why am I blanking out on the guy's name from Stranger Things, man? Steve, isn't it Steve, right? With the baseball bat with the nails in it? That's what the chameleons are reminding me of. I think it's Steve. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna lose like 50 nerd points. So I apologize. Oh man, great game, dude. Beautiful, beautiful black coffee. How's everybody enjoying this weather, man? I live in Florida, so fall and winter in Florida, oh my god, it's the best time in the freaking world anywhere, dude. It's like 60 to 70 degrees outside most days. Right now it's still a little hotter, but it'll get cooler. Normally overcast because it rains a lot. Just kind of like light hoodie weather, man. Never gets too cold. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. I don't want to advertise too often during the show, but if you are new, this is Tooth and Tail TV. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday nights, 8 p.m. EST. I normally have a partner caster, Icebox. He's on baby duty, so he's been AFK for the last couple weeks. Just had his first kid and he's got to do the whole adulting thing for a little bit. So I am just rocking it solo. Hopefully my casting solo is good enough for your lovely entertainment out there. All right. So we got a new submitter. Now Reza was a new submitter, so that's super awesome. Sequoia is a pretty known name, but I think that was the first time he submitted. Maybe he submitted to me in the past. I think he submitted in the past, so really loving these new submitters, guys. I love these guys like Nikki and Bannered Bastion and Mishi that constantly send me replays. That's super awesome, so I always have something to do, but nothing makes me happier when I get a replay from a name I don't recognize, and that's exactly what we're going into this next game. Cautious versus Shinoa. I don't think I've casted either of these guys before, so I'm really excited about that, and let's hop on into it. Ooh, beautiful snow map. Alright. Spawning in the 5 o'clock as a blue, we've got Cautious. And in the 1 o'clock, we've got Shinoa. Interesting builds coming out of both of these players. Wow, I love it. I don't even know where to begin, man. So Cautious is breaking the cardinal rule of Tooth and Tail and not running either squirrels nor lizards here. He's got the toads, just to be careful, and he's going to be glad he does have the toads, because luckily for him, his opponent is running those lizards, so that's going to work out. And interesting kind of early game strategy, right? Like, I think what Cautious is going to go for here is to build up some toads. Moles are kind of like the oh crap button, I don't think he wants to build moles, but if there's a big, heavy early game attack coming his way, he's got the moles to fall back on. He's got the barbed wire, which is really good, but unfortunately for him, this is kind of an open map. I mean, Shinoa with the barbed wire, though, good lord, man. Shinoa could throw just a couple pieces right there and effectively tag off his main base and an expansion base. So, both players, well, Cautious, anyways, going straight up to 8 farms. We'll have to see what Shinoa decides to do. Electing to build a few lizards before the farms, and I think both these builds are pretty relevant. I mean, obviously Shinoa is taking a more aggressive stance in this game, right? Like, he's gonna want to get in there with those lizards early on, but again, man, like, lucky for Cautious, he has the toads, right? Like, I'm not sure 100% if this would work if the opponent had squirrels. I mean, Cautious would know, obviously, unless this is just like a crazy deck that he decided to do, like, one-off or something like that, but this is not going to be a bad early game for him. And if he can get up to some Wing Demons and Snakes with a Badger on the front line, and another thing that's interesting to me too is the Wing Demons typically need a good front line to be effective, right? Like they're not tanky units. They do a ton of DPS, but you really need them to have some guys in the front, some grunts that are dispendable, buffering for them and whatnot. And I'd love to see Shinoa at least try to come in here and poke and prod a little bit. And I actually really like this kind of conservative use of barbed wire coming out of Cautious here. He didn't do anything crazy, like invest a ton of money into the barbed wire, but he got some good barbed wire chokes, right? And I'm not so sure if, Shinoa's got to be aware, I guess, the enemy's got toads, but maybe not, because he's going really, really hard on these lizards and took a very fast natural expansion here. And likewise Kasha did, so both players are playing pretty greedy here, so it shouldn't negatively affect either player too bad. And yeah, that's that barbed wire I was talking about earlier, man. That is such a sweet choke point for a barbed wire player, man, for sure. So that will be difficult for Cautious, but he does have the moles, right, which can get in there and take out that barbed wire pretty effectively. And right now it's gonna kind of come down to who wants to be more greedy in their expansion, and it doesn't look like either player has a whole lot of interest in really ending the game anytime soon. Both players are electing to get their expansions up, get up a bunch of defense, and maybe try to cut corners into some tier 3. I'd love to see Shinoa do something like sell off a couple of those lizard warrens and like throw down 2 owls. Now that he's got a good defense going on, maybe one more piece of barbed wire there, and I love this play. You can never go wrong with taking that campfire, man. Yeah, Cautious is aware of it, but not to pick on Cautious or anything, because it's not a sign. Everybody does this at all levels of play, but I'm interested to see if Cautious ever scouts that campfire this game. I'm telling you guys, just take those campfires, man. There's really not a lot of risk involved in it. And my money is on Cautious never even sees it. We'll have to see, though. We'll have to see how vigilant he is on scouting. And it is rough to see. Oh, Caster Curse, right? Here he goes. He's going to see it right here. I'm so bad. Alright, so if he just brings his Wing Demons over, I think that's the move to make. Oh, instead goes for a couple moles there. Not too bad either, but see, this is what I'm talking about, though, man. He's moving his whole army over there, and if Shinoa kind of sniffs this out, Cautious is going to be in a bad spot, but doesn't move his army over too bad and gets some okay trades on those lizards, but not really, to be honest. Oh, wow. Okay, that was a little better for him there, and Shinoa's entire army just getting melted there, and those moles did effectively knock that campfire out and heading back home to get their victory parade and drink some beers and eat the flesh of their opponents, right? So, yeah, there we go. Shinoa throwing down those couple owl warrens, and that's where this game is going to get interesting because, Cautious is going for this Badger build, and yeah, the Pigeons got nerfed, but I still feel like if you're going to go for something like the Badger, you should probably be running the Pigeons, just because it adds a lot of value potential to the Badger, but you don't have to, no big deal otherwise. But it looks like both these players are going to elect for this like 2 base kind of big mid-game army and big mid-game engagement style, so I don't foresee any large action coming up anytime soon. Cautious is floating a little bit of money, so maybe we'll see if he tries to steal a Gristmill or something, which would be a good play. And again, when is Shinoa going to go scout it? And of course, as I say that, I'm sure Shinoa is going to go over there and just scout it immediately, right? That's a Caster Curse for sure, but that's why I love those kind of hidden expansion plays, because a lot of times they do go unscouted because it's simply hard to stay on top of your scouting the longer the game goes out. And that's why it's so important in the first couple minutes, if you're a new player, to get a really good lay of the land. And once you kind of get higher up in the competitive ladder and stuff like that, it gets even more difficult because the early game, it's really important to like constantly scout your opponent and make sure they're not doing any mind games against you. Make sure they're playing standard, counter what kind of openings they're doing, but at the same time, you still need to scout that map and identify where every single gristmill and campfire are at. And I'm sure both players did that, but I've seen a lot of replays, guys, where somebody will take a hidden base, like let's say this one, and one of the players didn't even know it existed. So yeah, both players did get a full scout off, which is good, but Cautious is not aware of that third gristmill. I'm sorry, Shinoa is not aware of that third gristmill, but Cautious is in kind of a bad spot now, to be perfectly honest. Like, going up against Owls in the super, super late game can be very difficult, especially when your opponent is allowed to just kind of sit back and make a ton of Owls. Like, I'm really interested to see how Cautious is going to deal with this composition. I mean, 4 Owls is no joke, man. You know, when one side gets, I mean, it's like this, if you play StarCraft, it's like the Swarm host, right? Like, it's going to gain value over time. And if you're playing against the Swarm host, you really got to get in there and apply a lot of pressure when they make that investment and try to prevent that from ever getting too out of control. But look at this, man. Cautious's answer is going to be a ton at Tier 3 himself. He decided on the 3rd Badger, canceled it. He probably wants to go over here and get his economy going even harder. Oh, he builds a couple things over there. That's interesting. I'm not so sure about that, but then again, all this barbed wire kind of gives this expansion away anyways. If Shinoa decides to go over there to scout again, he's going to see the barbed wire and know something's up. So I guess Cautious feels pretty invested in that base. I was kind of seeing it more like, you know, mine from it, and if it gets scouted, no big deal. I mean, yeah, they're going to take it out, but hopefully you made enough money over time to where it was worth it. We'll have to see how Toads do against mice. I mean, Toads were able to get in there and sweep those mice pretty effectively, but again, man, the Toads cost money and those mice do not. So Cautious is really going to have to rely on good targeting on these Owls. Does he get one? That's pretty huge. He does get an Owl, so that really helps him out. If he would have been able to get that 2nd Owl, that would have been even better. But as long as Cautious can keep his Badger alive, he shouldn't be in too bad of a spot. The Badger does go down, but Cautious does have the better economy here, right, guys? I mean, he's got this extra base going. He's got that campfire, so he should be pretty ahead. Yeah, he's pretty ahead in the income here. And I feel like this is hard, right? Like, I'm not sure what the right move to do is, because part of me wants to say you really got to get in there and not let Shinoa just build up a crap ton of Owls, right? But then the other part of me wants to say, you know, look how tight-knit Shinoa is in this little spot. You know, maybe the right move to make is to just take over the rest of the map, you know, throw down a ton of barbed wire and just starve them out. Like, I think that's what Cautious should be going for here. You know, don't trade ineffectively against Shinoa. You know, Shinoa's going to come in every now and then and trade out with his mice, which is fine. You know, you're going to have to take that hit when you know, take that on the cheek whenever you have to, sure. But, you know, I'd really love to see Cautious just play the waiting game here, man. I mean, the rest of the map basically belongs to him. I mean, there's not a whole lot of gristmills on this map to begin with. Yeah, take this gristmill. Shinoa's got to be heartbroken to finally figure out about this gristmill, but he's got a ton of wing demons, which are gonna, I love this, like, good abuse of the flying potential. I think it was like DJ or something I was talking to last time, and they were saying like the Falcon is like a slightly weaker squirrel pound for pound, but you can really see how the capability to fly is just so huge there. And meanwhile, Cautious coming in here for the counterattack. I'd love to see him target this Owl down. If he managed to get that Owl, that's gonna be really huge. Yeah, that resets Shinoa down to no Owls, and both players are starving here, so Shinoa's beginning the space race, and, you know, Shinoa's not in terrible shape. If Shinoa can just come over here, throw down another farm, he should be okay, but at the same time, Shinoa would actually need to go back to his base first to sell something, because he does not have the 60 food required to build a farm. And it looks like Cautious's commander was taken out in that last engagement, which really slowed down his push here, and might allow Shinoa to win, but I'm getting really worried for Shinoa, man. He's got to sell something. He does manage to sell off that tier 3 war, and a wise move indeed. But the poison stacks are going to delay him even more, but he did manage at one point to get that farm down, which is good. I don't know if that was a little bit of a replay glitch or something like that, but a farm does go down for Shinoa, and that might be it, man. Like, I'm not sure what Cautious can do at this point. He does have the campfire, but I guess that doesn't count while you're starving? Huh. I'm not sure. I mean, it looks like that campfire is still mining. Yeah, fair enough. Shinoa takes it. Great game, man. I was not expecting Shinoa to win. And, like, not to be too critical on these players, because I am not... I'm not a critical caster, guys. Like, I actually recommend, if you're a new player, submit your replay, man. And I try to go easy on everybody, but just as, like, a learning point, I would note, if I was Cautious in that position, I would have set up a really good front line and just tried to contain my opponent on 2 bases, because the way that he had that map kind of configured, if he was really patient, he would have been able to do that, but he kept taking engagements, which was good. He got a lot done during those engagements. He got owl kills, he knocked out defensive structures, he got a couple warrens and things like that. But those mice just trade so good in the late game, man. It's really hard to compete when you got to trade free units for units that cost money. All right, let's hop into game number 4 here. Stu Luke. I know I'm mispronouncing that, man. I apologize, but you're being called Stu Luke. Oh, somebody says campfire ran out. How can you tell? I should probably know this since I'm like doing casting. But how could you tell that the campfire ran out? Because to me it looked like it was still lit up. So, yeah, let me know, guys. But alright, Stu Luke versus Bonk. Let's do it. Alright, in the 9 o'clock position, we've got Stu Luke. And in the 3 to 4 o'clock, we've got Bonk. Man, I love the decks coming out of both these players here for a lot of different reasons. I really like Stu Luke's composition. I run something pretty similar on the ladder. I prefer Fox and Owl over the Badger, even though I know the Fox isn't super strong right now. I still just love that unit. And I think the Ferrets are a really good tech choice, and we've been seeing more and more at high-level play. I mean, Ferrets, if they're in good hands, man, you know how to micro, you know how to position, they can get a lot of work done, and this map is really interesting. It's definitely favored towards Stu Luke for sure. I mean, there's not a whole lot of gristmills. There's 4 additional gristmills to be taken, a couple campfires, so I mean, don't let the map fool you if you're a new player and you want to just say, like, oh, this is so broken for Stu Luke here. I mean, it's really not true. For one, Bonk has an easier to defend expansion, you know, being so close to his main. He's also got pretty good access to that campfire, and hell, even this campfire if he's good to be on the map and be aggressive and gain some zoning, map control, stuff like that. And a lot of times these games don't go a lot past the second gristmill, man. Like, you've got the early game where both players are on 1 gristmill, and you kind of got the mid game, or like the 4 to 7 minute mark, where players decide to either kind of go all in on one base or try to expand up and get some work done that way. And then, yeah, some games go down to the really late, but games in Tooth and Tail can snowball relatively easily, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. It's like if I win a couple early engagements and I know the right time to apply pressure and to gain momentum and to use the tempo that I've been mustering over time, I can get in there and seal the deal. And that's normally what we see happen, you know, even at high level play, guys, is, you know, people get up to like 2 bases, maybe a third, but a lot of time it's almost like tennis, right? Like, to get to a really late game Tooth and Tail scenario, you guys got to be going toe to toe all game long. You got to be doing super even engagements. You know, maybe I win a fight, then you win a fight, and we go back and forth, and then it kind of devolves into like the Stone Age again, right? And gets super scrappy as the economies start failing. But man, if Stu Luke can actually get this Falcon, that's gonna be huge. And sure enough, the tier 2 Warren for Bonk over here does go down, and Stu Luke's gonna press this momentum that he's got and even be able to snipe a pig, and I'd like to see him pull back. Yeah, that's a good play. I mean, Stu Luke got a lot done there, man, and you know, granted, Bonk, oh, I see why, yeah, Bonk went for a very greedy opening versus Stu Luke's kind of more standard / aggressive opening. Like, hell, Stu Luke hasn't even taken his last farm yet. I don't know if that's a mistake. Maybe he's running over here to take it right now, or you know, sometimes it's really easy to overlook that one farm, but in general, you really don't need to be taking additional expansions before you take your first 8 farms, with some exceptions and like high-level stuff where you want to keep a farm alive just in case it gets to that like late game we're both starving to kind of draw the game out a little longer. But you know, Bonk, okay, so Bonk did get punished early. However, Bonk just lost a tier 2 Warren in a pig, right? And he did manage to get his expansion up much quicker, and he's going really hard on saturating it. I mean, he's shooting up to 13 farms already, so if that goes unpunished by Stu Luke, the economic advantage out of Bonk here could get out of control, but Stu Luke is not going to just sit around and let that happen, right? He's going to come in here and engage. You know, great healing out of those pigeons, just barely keeping that ferret alive. Oh, man. that's pretty big for Stuluk, and Stuluk does have an expansion of his own, right? So he's not super far behind on economy, and overall, I think he's definitely in a commanding position this game against Bonk for sure. I mean, Bonk went very, very greedy early on by taking that quick Falcon Warren and then also the quick expansion, and then on top of the quick expansion, he saturated the hell out of it, like immediately. Whereas Stuluk went for an aggressive build, got in there, got some damage done, came back, kept getting his army going, took an expansion of his own at a more reasonable time, still pretty early though, to be perfectly honest, and this is that power of the ferrets I'm talking about, man. Like, if you can micro pretty well, dude, play around with the ferrets. They're a ton of fun. A good counterplay against the ferrets, if you're having a lot of trouble, guys, is use your commander to mess with the AI of the ferrets, because the ferret's going to start prioritizing hitting the commander, and that's just shots that it's not hitting on other things. And Bonk's got to be careful, man. He's really out of position over here, and that's why scouting at this phase in the game is very risky, right? Because Stuluk's just got all the time in the world, and maybe Bonk actually gave up, because I didn't even notice, but he sold all of his Warrens here. And yeah, let's see. I'm gonna fast forward this a little bit. I think Bonk's just kind of trolling at this point, guys. Yeah, he's just being annoying, trying to take some gristmills. It looked like he was trying to sacrifice his base, but that must have been what he was scouting around for, to maybe try to move the ship somewhere else, but there just really wasn't anywhere on the map where he could take like a hidden expansion. It's pretty small. You know, a lot of these expansions are in earshot of Stuluk's bases, and yeah, Stuluk's just definitely got it from here. Bonk, man, he's gonna be as annoying as he can, trying to hold off to the last minute, but great victory out of Stuluk. I love seeing stuff like that where you execute on like an early aggression play, you punish your opponent, like the build that I've been kind of been doing lately. Oh, if the meat is gone. Okay, thanks guys, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm such a newbie here trying to represent the community. But yeah, so like a build I really like to do on the ladder is take my like 8 farms, get up like 4 to 5 tier 1 Warrens, and head over to my enemy's base. And you know, it's not really an all-in play or anything like that, but you can really punish your opponent if they try to do something like go for a quick tier 2, which is really popular right now, go for a quick tier 3, which isn't unheard of, or try to expand quickly. You know, if they're not ready for your like 12 squirrels and 3 pigeons coming at them because they invested that money into trying to get 2 quick Falcon Warrens, let's say, you can really run all over them and punish that greed. So I feel like that was kind of Stuluk's game plan there, and I think it worked pretty well for him. All right, moving on through these replays, man. Number 5. Okay. Let's do it. Banner Bastion versus Cowlord, and a lot of props to Banner Bastion, man. He's been messing around doing some tournament organization stuff. I'm not sure if he still is, so I don't want to like hype that up if he isn't, but reach out to him, man. He's trying to get some events going, and that's exactly what we need as a community, man. The more little tournaments and stuff like that, absolutely the better. But without further ado, into 12 o'clock position as the red, we got Banner Bastion, and his opponent spawning in the 7 o'clock as Archimedes. We got Cowlord. Ooh, okay, okay. Both these builds are pretty interesting to me, right? Like, how did Cowlord, both these guys managed to fit 2 tier 3s in their build, which I absolutely love. I've been trying to do that with owls lately. Like, I'll take Owl Badger, like take Cowlord's build and replace lizards with squirrels, replace Badger with owl, or maybe fox with owl. That's what I've been trying to get away with lately. Because just having that owl option available feels really strong to me if the game goes super, super late. But overall, this is going to be neat. I mean, Banner Bastion's in a pretty good little spot over here, you know, kind of tucked in with only one entrance to his base. He doesn't have anything like defensive structures to help him turtle up or anything, but I think it would be really cool to see him rush up to a quick fox or something like that to try to really get some value with it. And I mean, the fox nerf was pretty substantial, but I've seen a lot of replays from high-end guys who are still still able to utilize the Fox effectively. So don't let it scare you out of picking it, man. If you like micro, you know, the Fox to me kind of reminds me of like a Mutilus Flock from StarCraft, right? You just kind of run around the map, you poke, you prod, you get damage done over time, but it's also really squishy and a big investment, so you don't want to lose it too early. And yeah, both these guys going super standard. I love the openings out of both these players here. Yeah, going up to that like 4 Warrens, right? So, I mean, Cowlord's playing pretty standard too. It looks like, yeah, he's going up to 4 Warrens now. But imagine if either one of these players, like imagine if Banner Bastion went for a really quick Boar or a really quick Fox, or Cowlord went for a quick Ferret or something. You know, both these players could just move across the map and absolutely dominate their opponent, take really favorable engagement. And right now, again, they're both just still kind of watching each other and seeing who's going to make that first big decision. And this is really the point in the game where that decision's going to happen. And that decision for Banner Bastion is the Chameleon, and for Cal, it's the Snake. So far, so good, man. I mean, these guys are basically mirrored at this point. We're going to have to see who manages to put on the aggression first. If anybody tries to do anything crazy, like take an expansion really early. I just see where this big game takes us. I mean, it's gearing up to be a very good game for sure. It's interesting. As long as both these players keep tabs on each other, they don't have to be running in there and engaging on each other's face, right? Because nobody's really got an edge at this point, right? And if Banner Bastion comes in to attack Cowlord will have the defender's advantage and might take a favorable engagement, and vice versa if Cowlord came onto Banner Bastion at this point. So both players kind of respecting each other, and this is kind of a good example. One thing I don't really get to talk about too much is you've noticed that both players have not lost a single unit this game, right? And we're at about the 330 mark, and Bastion taking expansion. Let's see if Cowlord's going to follow suit, or it looks like he's saving up for a tier 3 here. No, decides to get his ferrets out, and a couple pigeons, round out his army comp a little more. But if you notice, like, the amount of Warrens these guys have is absolutely insane compared to most games we see, right? Because neither player is constantly having to replace those 20 food tier 1 and 60 food tier 2 units, so they're just investing and investing and investing into these massive, massive armies. And, you know, this expansion timing out of Cowlord here is perfectly fine. I'd actually consider it a bit more standard than Banner Bastions, but Banner Bastions wasn't greedy at all. I mean, it's maybe a 30-second difference or so between the two, so neither player really with a big edge on that regard. Yeah, I mean, they're still literally identical at this point, right? I mean, nothing has happened yet in this game, but they're both still gearing up, and I kind of like Cowlord's position because he's got the ferret. And another thing that's really useful or interesting to me this game to point out is both players actually did take the Fox. So it's kind of rare to see. I love it. The Fox is my personal favorite unit. I just have a ton of fun playing with it. And finally, Bastion makes the first big gambit here and throws down that Boar Warren. So I think once that Boar gets finished, it's kind of be the trigger for Bastion to move out and try to get a big engagement. And it's going to be rough to deal with that, man. Like, I'm not sure, you know. You got to try to engage in there. You know, you need the lizards to get the damage done, but ideally, you're going to want to try to engage that Boar mainly with your ferrets and snakes, because obviously when that Boar blows up, it's going to take essentially all your tier 1 units with it, right? So you got to be careful and micro well against an opponent who's playing with a Boar. Maybe, like, run the lizards in for a couple seconds to get some extra damage done and run them out before the Boar gets too low. But at the same time, that's going to be really difficult micro if Banner Bastion keeps that Boar nice and tucked away in his back lines, which I'd imagine he'd do so. And let's see here. I mean, Cowlord does have his second base fully saturated and Banner Bastion does not, but I'm worried because the army value, I mean, just the composition for Bastion here is slowly over time becoming more and more solid. I mean, having that big tier 3 unit out to get some damage done. He's got the ferrets to poke and prod. He's got the chameleons to try to get in there on his opponent's ferrets. I'm actually really, really excited for this engagement. It's going to come down to micro and positioning and map control. And Cowlord now is building his tier 3 Warren, but Bastion's got a timing attack window here. You know, he's got his Boar out, and he knows that's the trigger to move out here and start an engagement. you know, Calord's army is nothing to scoff at either, don't get me wrong, guys, but, you know, that boar just adds a ton of value to your army with that capability to blow up and take so many units with it. And you notice their bunny's floating a little bit. That's actually okay for a lot of reasons here. For one, when you're microing in these forward engagements, it's really difficult to kind of be macroing at the same time behind it. You don't want to allow your army to get out of position, but here we go. The boar moving in and getting on top of absolutely everything. These lizards, though, great lizard micro out of Calord to run those lizards around the boar and get back to those beautiful, sweet, succulent ferrets to just rip apart completely. Man, great engagement out of Calord there, man. I mean, both players did well. You know, Bastion moved his boar up to kind of sacrifice it, but God, I love that micro out of Calord, man. He knew those lizards would be absolutely dominated if they're anywhere near the boar, so he just runs into the back line, takes out his opponent's ferrets, and it moves in here for another engagement. And very smartly, Banner Bastion sells that boar warren, knowing now is not the time to try to get another boar out. And this is where it gets tricky, man. Like, Calord had tempo, but he kind of came in and got a little hammered on there because of the defender's advantage of Banner Bastion. I mean, these units are reproducing really quickly. I mean, both players had a pretty good bank lined up, and both players are still in a very good economy here, so now's the time for Cal to start some micro with that boar, or Badger, I'm sorry. I'm a little disappointed we didn't see the Fox play out of either players these games. I wonder what the rationale behind taking the Fox was. I wonder if it was conditional, like if my opponent gets maybe owls or something, I start throwing the Fox in to try to snipe those down. That might be a good viable option to deal with the owls, perhaps. We'll have to see how this next engagement goes, right? I mean, Calord not missing a beat on his economy, taking a third base, and unfortunately for Bastion, he really doesn't have third base options available to him, so he's got to come in here and make this next attack work. Because if he doesn't, and he waits around for a minute or two and allows Calord to get up a favorable economy over him, he's going to be in rough shape, man, because not only is the engagement super important, but also how fast you can rebuild your army afterwards, right? And obviously, if I have a better economy than you, but you beat me in the fight, I still might end up winning the next fight because I was able to rebuild my army faster, right? So we're going to get to that point here shortly. And keep in mind, Calord still does have his tier 3 unit, and Banner does not. But Banner just has a ton of squirrels at this point, man. 30 squirrels coming out here for Banner Bastion, and he knows now's the time to pull the trigger. He can't just sit around and let Calord take that third base and get a superior economy over him, so he's gonna move in here, and let's see how this engagement goes. I mean, I think squirrels start becoming pretty good against lizards at this number. Yeah, lizards are a little bit of an early game unit, but even still, man, like, it's not even really comparable. Actually, to be fair, with the amount of, I mean, 12 lizards versus 30 squirrels, those 12 lizards did pretty damn good there, right? I mean, Banner Bastion's just got the math on him at this point, and great pickoff from Bastion coming out there. He absolutely could not afford for Calord to take that third, and that third was still a big investment, guys. I mean, Calord put 240 food into that third. I mean, that's what, 4 tier 2 units, right? So he doesn't have those to reinforce his army, and Bastion smells blood in the water. He's going to come in here to try to take down his opponent, and I think he's going to have enough here. Hell yeah. Alright, alright. What do we got next? Ooh, we got a game from Nikki. Sweet. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Is audio okay? Let me know, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining me, as always. You nerds are the best nerds in the world. I absolutely love the TNT community, man. Super cool stuff. So, also, okay. If anybody doesn't mind filling me in, Oh no, Squirrel. Falcons haven't got a buff. They just kind of found their place in the meta, and with the changes of the different units, they're kind of becoming more relevant. But are there any upcoming tournaments? Because as far as I know, there aren't. But I could be out of the loop. So if there's anything upcoming for maybe Strawberry or Clash of Comrades, let me know. And then also if Andy talked about balance changes on his stream yesterday, let me know too, guys. I'd appreciate it. But all right, let's get into Nikki versus Wistful here. Okay, spawning in the 10 o'clock. You know him, you love him. It's Nikki. And in the 6 o'clock base, we've got Wistful. Man, these guys are fighting in a village, dude. Look at all these houses. All these abandoned little squirrel houses, man. They used to store their nuts in them for the winter, but they do not eat nuts anymore, my friend. They're after that beautiful, delicious meat. Man, this game just makes me hungry for meat, dude. I can never be a vegetarian. I make like homemade beef jerky with like London broil from the grocery store, and you like cut it into thin slices with a dehydrator. Oh my god, it's so good. But both these guys going for kind of like the safe, like back when the meta first began, I kind of considered this the safe opening because aggression was really, really common back then. I kind of go for that like 5-farm Warren. Now I don't feel like you have to get a Warren this early, but it's also not a bad play, just to be safe. I think if you want to go for a safe opening, 6 Warren is probably more appropriate nowadays, but let's see what Wistful's doing. Is he going to go? Okay, so what he did was he kind of held his money for a little bit because he wanted to identify if his opponent had lizards. Sure enough, his opponent did have lizards, so he throws down the toads to do a little bit of a counter to that play. And we'll have to see where this game goes. I mean, the maps are fairly even. Actually, no, the map is even, besides this extra campfire, right? I mean, Wistful's got 3 bases available to him, and so does Nikki. I like this little bridge in the middle. That's pretty cool. That's where most of the aggression is going to come. Let's see. Wistful does have balloons, and Nikki has barbed wire. Man, just throwing like 1 piece of barbed wire there would be so mean, dude. Do it. Oh, do it. Yeah, my boy. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Yeah, that's like the best value 20 food ever, man. That is going to be. I can't wait to see how that helps Nikki out in this game. And so again, I mean, both players should be going up to that 8 farm count, right? Both players should be getting out, 3 to 5 tier 1 Warrens, depending on your play style. And we're going to have to see the decision making out of that after that. And actually, surprisingly, Wistful going for a very early tier 2 Warren. Where did he place that? How do I know? Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, he took the tier 2 before finishing his 8 farms. So that's a very, very quick Falcon. We'll have to see how it helps him out in this attack. And look at this. Nikki, I love this play out of Nikki. I'm not so sure if it's going to work, but I love this kind of flank move. Oh, Wistful is out of position, though. Just get in there, get that Warren, get out, man. Just get out, get out, get out. There you go. Yeah, good trade for Nikki there. Trades a lizard for a toad, manages to snipe a Warren. It's really easy to overcommit in situations like that. But you gotta be careful because defender's advantage is super, super real in this game, guys. Like, the pigs do a lot of damage, the Warrens tank a lot. Your units aren't gonna necessarily prioritize attacking enemy units over buildings most of the time, so gotta be really careful about that for sure. And I'm a little worried about Wistful's economy. He needs to retake that farm there. He's thinking about it. Yep, there he goes. Okay. So yeah, you can see that like little edge that Nikki got out of that engagement, right? He's able to get out of Gristmill. He's got about the same amount of tier 1 Warrens, a couple less, but he does have the barbed wire, and he's got several Falcons here. And the Falcons over this water is probably going to be a really effective way to come in here and harass. So I'd love to see Falcons utilized from either one of these players here. And keep in mind too, like, that was a good initial harassment out of Nikki, but Wistful is certainly not out of this game at all. I mean, yeah, it was some damage, but that's okay, man. I mean, it happens every now and then. It's no big deal. If Wistful just takes a good engagement, maybe gets some good connections out with those toads and gets a lot of value, he can easily flip this game back into his favor. So, Nikki does have a lead right now for sure. 120 food lead to be exact, but not the biggest deal in the world. And the longer the game goes on, the less and less that's going to matter. And good timing to take an expansion out of Wistful here. And I think that Bullet, the War Balloon, should be able to defend that expansion. Maybe sell it and move it a little to the left, like right where that corner is, behind the trees and rocks. But he should be fine to defend that expansion from there. But that expansion is gonna be rough to defend, though, man. If Nikki is on point about these like flank attacks with the Falcons or with the Lizards through this water, it's gonna be really difficult for Wistful to keep those pigs up. And I feel like Wistful's got to make a play because Nikki is not skipping a beat. Going for a very standard style. Not getting overly greedy. Yeah, the Fox. All right. I am hyped for some Fox action here. I always love seeing some good Fox games. So, but yeah, Nikki's got an economy lead, right? He's got an army lead, and now he's got a tech lead. So it's really up to Wistful to get something done here. And now, where Nikki is messing up, I feel like, and he's being a little cautious, which is fine. But you got to remember, like, the longer the game goes on, the less and less that lead that Nikki established for himself earlier matters. So if Wistful happened to, for example, go super greedy, right, and just absolutely saturate the hell out of that second base, he could have got himself in a good economic lead since Nikki hasn't really been doing anything with his tempo. But at the same time, that could bite Wistful in the ass if he did that, because Nikki should be moving out soon, and I believe what the trigger is going to be for Nikki here is when those tier 3 units are up. But look at this, Wistful going over here with these Falcons. Oh my god, if he manages to snipe this tier 3 Warren, that is going to be absolutely huge. Damn, man. Gets it. Now, is he going to lose all his Falcons in the process, though? Oof. Yeah, see, he was a little greedy. He kind of saw the blood in the water there, right? Like, he got the tier 3 unit, and he had, like, a half a second to back out of there and decided to start poking that other Warren. And unfortunately for him, he lost 5 Falcons to do so. And you got to remember, if somebody snipes a Warren and you have a unit building, that unit gets refunded. So Nikki lost 180 food out of that Warren, but did not lose 180 food from the building Fox. But Nikki also lost the tempo there too. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Fox was what Nikki was waiting for to pull the trigger on a move out. But the counterattack from Nikki gets a ton of damage done. I mean, yeah, they both trade armies pretty fairly, I suppose. But you got to remember, Nikki's got the economy on the back end of this, and Nikki was able to take out that expansion out of Wistful here. So I think Nikki's just got too much momentum at this point, and really smart play too, man. And that's one of the most annoying things when you invest in a defensive structure, is when your opponent just simply ignores it. Like, whatever, I don't care about that balloon. I'm just going to run around it and try to take out this gristmill for the end of the game here. All right. Damn, man, I keep getting baited. I keep seeing Fox and get so happy, and then no Foxes come. I'll never get a Fox, man. All right. Hercrus versus Insane Jester. Now, games with Insane Jester make me hesitant because he has been known to troll me, but it's okay. I think we're in for an interesting match here. Alright, spawning in the 1 o'clock position, we've got Hercrus. And in the 7 o'clock, we've got Insane Jester. Again, another Fox out of Insane Jester, man, but I can't get too excited for it yet. We might not see the Fox play at all. And this map is pretty cool, to be honest. It kind of hurts for Hercrus here. I mean, he's got a pretty good castle, right? It's going to be hard for Insane Jester to get in there and really get anything done, since there's only that really tiny choke point as an entryway into Hercrus' main base. And it won't be too difficult for Hercrus to kind of expand his tendrils out on the map a little bit and take the space up here, and then hopefully eventually get this one as well. But this space is going to be really hard to contest for most of the game, I feel like. I'm not so sure if this space will ever get taken. And, Jester going for a crazy play like I expect out of Insane Jester here. Grabbing a really early gristmill and throwing a turret down to to kind of defend in the early game, but one turret is not going to be enough. I mean, turrets are very strong, but by themselves, they can get mowed down really quickly, and I'm not sure on the math, but 6 squirrels I don't think is enough to take out 2 turrets, especially when they have that high ground position, but I think Jester is just kind of drawing the war line here, yeah, and it's actually a really smart move out of Jester, as weird as this looks, because the Jester kind of recognizes, okay, Hercrus, he's got this nice pocket base, and there's only this one tight entrance, but there's only one exit too, right? And if Insane Jester kind of sets up this front line here and doesn't allow Hercrus to ever get a second base out, all he's got to do is play the waiting game, and Hercrus will eventually starve. And Hercrus is responding by just going straight up for an owl, and I think that's a very smart move out of him, and would love to even see him maybe try to steal a base somewhere, especially this base, or definitely this campfire in the bottom over there. Yeah, and that's what's so cool about Tooth and Tail, too, if you're a new player, is you can sell all your stuff for a full refund. So we got the full refund from selling off his Tier 1 Warrens, and that includes the units, too. So if you built a Squirrel Warren, right, and you made the 3 squirrels, if you sell that, you'll get that 120 food back, and that's the play I wanted to see out of Jester. Is actually, yeah, take that gristmill and move this contain up even further. It's going to be very hard for, yeah, unfortunately, that was not sneaky enough, and Insane Jester is right there to be able to deny that campfire, but if Jester just kind of keeps leapfrogging his turrets up more and more, yeah, look how much territory he gained from that, right? If he starts building turrets here, yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Hercrus to ever break out of this. I mean, Hercrus kind of needed to be a little more aggressive. Oh, and he's got the ferrets too. Yeah, I would have really liked to see Hercrus rush up to those ferrets and prevent this contain from ever happening. I mean, he will have the ferrets now, and he can get started on knocking down those turrets, but the barbed wire is starting to come up. It's going to be difficult for him to gain vision on this turret up here on the high ground. So we'll have to see. I mean, I feel like that window for Hercrus to break out of this contain is starting to close. I mean, we're at the 3:30 mark here, so he's got another minute and a half before his economy really starts going down to the dumps. And I really like this. This is a really cool game. I'm actually really enjoying this one. I mean, I like Hercrus' response here to get the ferrets and owls out and just cut out the Tier 1 warrants, but my only critique is I would have liked to see the ferrets out before the owls to really punish what Jester is doing. And if you notice, Jester hasn't really been given a damn about his economy. He's only taken these gristmills to expand his territory up more and more, right? Like, he's not super worried about a strong economy at this point. And did he actually, oh wow, like Jester never even took 3 of his farms at his first base, so he's just running straight off 5 farms here, trying to get just the right amount of units and right amount of defense up to contain Hercrus for as long as possible. But I feel like Hercrus is playing this contain very well, just slowly but surely getting those owls up, getting the ferrets up, and not losing anything, which is really, really important for Hercrus here. He's not working with a very big economy, so he needs to make sure he gets so much value out of all his units. And yeah, I don't think Hercrus has lost a single thing yet, so that's going to be very beneficial for him. I'm wondering if we're going to see him go up to a 3rd owl, or maybe he's decided 2 is enough. And these chameleons are out, which is going to make it more difficult for Hercrus to position his ferrets correctly, right? If the ferrets start to do this just a little further and get away from that defensive turret line, those chameleons could essentially sneak up on him and take him out. Interesting. I wonder how he's got high ground vision there. I guess maybe if something's shooting at you, you gain some vision. The owl should grant the high ground vision now, so you should be good to go. And I feel like this contain strategy backfired a little bit on Jester, man. He didn't invest enough into his economy or into any like big I'm gonna win the game unit type thing, and just with a couple owls and a couple ferrets, Hercrus is able to break out of it and successfully in the game. Yeah, Jester's biggest mistake is that he forgot about his farms. Yeah, totally, man. If Jester had a better economy there, he was in a very, very good position to keep you locked in. But I think you played well, responded well to that for sure. All right, okay, we're at the 9 o'clock, 1 hour through the show. If it's your first time here, thanks for watching. This is Tooth and Tail TV. You submit me replays, I cast them every Tuesday, Thursday night, 8 p.m. EST. Normally I got Icebox with me, but he's on baby patrol right now, so hopefully he'll be joining me again in a week or two. Until then, you nerds are stuck with me solo casting, so please submit me replays, guys. I need more replays for Thursday's show, for sure. ToothAndTailTV at gmail.com. Thank you so much to you guys who constantly submit me replays. It's really awesome. I really appreciate it. But don't be shy if you've been watching the show, maybe a couple episodes, been thinking about submitting a replay, man. Just submit it away, dude. And I try to not be hypercritical, but I also want to give some good, like, higher level analysis and insight. So don't be shy, man. I won't pick on you too hard. And if you are a low-level player against your newbie friends, just tell me in the email. Just be like, man, this is totally a low-level game. We're having fun, and I'll make sure to go easy on you. I don't want anybody to ever feel like, I'm talking negatively about their play. I'm just trying to give some constructive criticism, and help out, viewers who might get stuck in similar situations on the ladder. So I got a 2v2 game lined up next. I was too lazy to type out the names for everybody. Icebox has like a Python script that he wrote, which automatically renames all the replays, so I gotta do it by hand. It's like 15 minutes of work, guys. It's so brutal. Thank you for following, Poopy, man. I really appreciate it. Okay, 2v2 time. You guys ready? Let's do it. Alright. Bunch of new faces in this game. I love it. We've got South Tom and Coda Arc. I'm gonna call him Coda Arc. South Tom and Coda Arc as green and red against their opponents, Premium Bow and Mr. Grumpsman, and the blue and yellow on the top. And oh man, there's too much. Like, I was gonna start talking about their decks, but it's pretty crazy. I want to see. You know what I've been really wanting to see more of in 2v2, and I'm not sure if it's competitive or not, but there's like Siamese twin builds, as I call it, right? Where, maybe I just take a ton of defensive structures and owls, and then you take like a standard deck, right? And then it's like, okay, you hold off and get up to tier 1, get up to tier 2, get the backbone of our army put together. Well, I just build a ton of static defense and get us up to the late game owls. I've always wanted to see that really bad in 2v2 games, so hint, if you want a replay to submit, man, you and your buddy think up a good Siamese twin build to do, and we'll showcase it off on Thursday maybe. But so far so good. I mean, red and green have a lot of gristmills available to them here, and but at the same time, blue and yellow do too. I mean, both of them have this nice little pocket expansion right behind them, so that's going to be pretty easy to defend. And already a couple of just defensive structures coming out of our yellow player here to start, claiming territory, which is really the purpose of a defensive structure. It is to create a zone, create a containment area, create some map control, say, hey, we're splitting the map here, and this is our territory. You guys can get lost, man. And, the more I'm looking at this, though, to be honest, actually, okay, hear me out. I know it doesn't look like it, but this map is pretty balanced, right? Because green and red, everybody gets an expansion right off the bat, right? Everybody's got a natural base. That's perfectly fine. And then it looks like if green and red kind of muster over here, they could take that base, where blue and yellow might be able to take this one. I know that's crazy because they're so close to each other, but blue and yellow are doing a really good job investing this initial money into creating a zone, right? Because if they can manage to create a zone that is forward enough to steal both these bases right here, then they're just going to have a lead over time, and especially if one of them manages to take that campfire. So at this point, not a lot of crazy stuff is going on. I mean, both teams are kind of getting a couple turrets up, kind of getting some defense up, getting their expansions out. The only thing that is crazy to note so far is Kodark over here is going for that fast boar play. So I always love to see stuff like that. Really try to be greedy, man. That's the kind of player I am. Like, I spent like my first 20 hours on the ladder just saying, how greedy can I get a fox out, right? Okay, I love the fox. It's my favorite unit. It's expensive, high risk, high reward kind of thing. How fast can I get it out and hold on against the early rush? And I love stuff like that. And I think it's really important that players keep doing stuff like that and figuring out how greedy you can be. And obviously the rules are totally different in 2v2s, right? But but it's still really cool to see guys taking big risks and try to make big plays. And this is not looking terrible for either team here. You know, it's still kind of, we're in the middle, we're zoning, and right now I do give a slight edge to our blue and yellow team because I feel like they're cutting the map better, right? Because the current split has these two gristmills over here, both going towards our blue and yellow players, and then also, of course, these additional campfires as well. So if the game drags out long enough, our blue and yellow team here should have a better economy in the end. And it looks like that Uncle Butters is out, and Kodark's not messing around anymore and seeing if they can push the issue and get an engagement going on in here. And it's got to be careful. I don't see any pigeons out. Southtom's got some pigeons over here, healing up that boar now. But I was worried. Nothing feels worse when you try to like micro away a boar, especially, right? And the last couple poison stacks hit it. I mean, that always sucks with any high value unit, but especially with the boar, because you really got to make that decision when shit's kind of hitting the fan with the boar, right? Where it's like, okay, he's not going to live anymore. I got to get him in there and blow him up on some stuff. Which is very important. And this barbed wire is going to be a real pain in the ass for the blue and yellow team here. Oh my god, 10 chameleons are coming out. That is going to be insane. Premium bow. I love it, man. I'm super excited for that. Forget everything else about this game, guys. Let's talk about these 10 chameleons on 16 farms. That is absolutely huge, and it is a pretty big investment, right? It looks like Premium Bo sold off anything else he possibly had to get those 10 chameleons out real quick, and if he's able to get him in there and snipe down that boar, that's going to be huge. Let's see if they got healing on their team. They do not have healing on their team, so the boar would blow up, kill off all those chameleons, but chameleons should live, and oh my god, look at that drumfire cannon. Absolutely fantastic. And the green and red team really got a muscle for this 9 o'clock area, man. That's really what's going to make or break either team here. You know, whatever team can manage to get these two gristmills, which right now it's kind of going towards our blue and yellow players, is really going to win this game, I feel like. Because most of the time in 2v2s, especially when both teams have several defensive structures like we see here, you know, the game's going to go on for a fairly long amount of time, right? So, as I say that, this wolf is out on the field, and Mr. Grumpsman does not want this game to go very much longer if possible, but oh my god, man, like, this zone, you know, it's really interesting. Like, early on, blue and yellow kind of created that, like, poor man zone in the beginning, right? Like, they made, like, 4 or 5 turrets and got a good setup. But our green and red team here, man, are not messing around with defensive structures and just lay down a ton of balloons and drumfire cannons and barbed wire. And you see where the blue commander is right now. I mean, if that's kind of like the hot spot. Oh my god, look at those chameleons. 7 chameleons coming in here, trying to just wreck everything. And let's see how effective it is. Not so much, to be honest, man. That was a really big loss for Premium Bow there. I mean, it's a really cool idea to try to combat this, but that is like the spot. Oh, you know what? Oh my god, okay. So, besides if the army moved like over here and swing around this way, that's the only way blue and yellow can engage. So, just the position, I mean, those balloons got taken down in that engagement, but I think they were worth their weight in food for sure. But, you know, this zone with the double balloons and the drumfire cannons just right here and the only attack path from their opponents is so smart, man. Like, very, very good positioning here. And I mean, green and red's got a wolf, they've got the boar, they're moving in here, and those chameleons are back out for Bellified, and they're sneaking in onto the boar. Managed to take boar number 1 out, but boar number 2 is still standing strong. Boar number 2 is gonna fall now. The green and red's army is kind of in shreds, but at the same time, so is the yellow and blue. I mean, this game is getting really scrappy, but green is just managing to get so much value out of this wolf, and oh, just barely manages to live from the poison stacks. And they're pushing in and getting a lot of momentum, but I think they're starting to overextend here now that blue's chameleons have all respawned, and now blue's just kind of got to sit back. I mean, unfortunately, they don't have pigeons on their team, so you really want to make sure those chameleons get back to full HP by just chilling in your territory, hopefully before the next engagement. But man, this game has been really cool so far. But the big untold story here, guys, are these two, I mean, I say untold, I've only mentioned it like 5 times, right? But these two gristmills over in the 9 o'clock position are really the clutch of this game, and I'd like to see South Tom and Kodark kind of start focusing their efforts a little bit more over there, because we've kind of just got this meat grinder situation going on in the middle, right? I mean, you got drumfire cannons up, you got a balloon up, you got barbed wire up. You know, try to force the fight over onto those critical mining bases, and the longer that they do not take out those bases, the worse it gets for it, because ideally, you know, our green and red team doesn't just want to deny our blue and yellow team from taking those bases, right? They want to get in here and take those bases themselves, but obviously the longer blue and yellow have those two gristmills, the more they're going to get mined out. And at this point, Mr. Grumpsman has had this gristmill for quite some time. He hasn't really saturated it super hard yet, but man, this game is so back and forth, it's hard to tell who's in the lead. I mean, right now, green and red have a lot of tempo, but the economy of blue and yellow should be better. Now they're starting to make some real heavy damage is starting to get done here, and red is farmed out now, man. He has got to seal the deal now. I wonder if there's a campfire he can maybe take. Yeah, take this campfire over here, dude. Oh, I don't want to focus on it too much. Is he aware? Yeah, okay, good. Boom, there you go. Oh, but that mole! Oh my god, premium bow. How long is that mole? I gotta sit here and watch this. Is this gonna be Hero Mole? Hero Mole, get it done! Damn, man, that was such a good mole placement out of premium though there. Too bad it didn't work out for him, but it looked like he just kind of like left that mole over there for some time and just kind of waiting for one of the players to take that base. Man, that was really smart out of premium bow. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, and Kodark's still in this game, but again, man, this is where it's really starting to come down to dollar bills, right? Because green and red have been taking some really great engagements here, winning a lot of fights, you know, pressing the advantage with their tempo, getting in there, knocking out Warrant. Oh my god, look at all the chameleons. Oh, but that bomb was huge. Now, most of those chameleons did live, guys. Yeah, they're still all over here chilling. But yeah, just the economy difference, right? Like, blue and yellow got that early map control out I was talking about and managed to get this 9 o'clock, and I think the big mistake out of our green and red team here was just not contesting this harder. Like, maybe they were unaware of this attack path. Actually, no, is that not an attack path? No, I think that's actually blocked off. It looks like you can walk through there, right? But if you look at the map, I believe that is blocked off, so that makes a little more sense, actually, where they weren't really able to get around, because I thought for the longest time this was an attack path, and they could walk through here and get up there, but yeah, it does kind of make more sense to me now, where they really had to break this middle to get in there and stop these other bases, but I mean, green and red are running on fumes, man. I know it says 0 farms, they just haven't updated with the campfires yet, so Kodark does have one campfire going right now, and I don't know, this is getting scrappy. I mean, blue and yellow have got to be in the lead, right? They've got 7 chameleons, 3 snakes, they got a couple squirrels, they're trying to get some falcons up, but most importantly, they're still mining here, and pretty impressive out of South Tom on how he managed his money. If you notice, Kodark kind of mined out a lot earlier than him, and that's because South Tom specifically saved a couple of farms for this kind of situation, where it's getting really scrappy and they're mining out and that sort of thing. So you want to make sure you always have a farm or two left over, or maybe start mining it a little later on, so you can kind of combat the starvation as we get to this phase of the game. But man, I think it's too much at this point. Like, I think the economic advantage for premium bow and Mr. Grumpsman should be kicking in. I mean, everyone's economy is super low at this point, but definitely a better edge for our blue and yellow players here. Go to ×2 for a minute, as they're kind of just trying to muster up a last-ditch effort to come in here and attack. And remember, there are seven cloak chameleons going on here, so keep that in mind. Let's see. Really what it's going to be is green and red are going to come in for their kind of Alamo, last stand, you know, one more try kind of deal. And they're kind of just poking and prodding, kind of figuring out when that is. And Man, I don't know why it never really hit me until lately about the chameleons, but this is where chameleons become so valuable, right? Because if you look at the enemy's army size, you're like, okay, that's not bad. A couple falcons, a few snakes, a couple squirrels, but you know, there's really no way to tell how many chameleons are in this army. We'll see if it even matters in the fight. I want to see these chameleons come out and just pound things again. One last time. Steve style. Isn't his name Steve? You guys watch Stranger Things, right? I want to say it's like Steve Harrington. With the nail bats, man. Alright. This game should... Okay, here's the last stand. So green and red, no. Okay, our economy's too weak. We gotta come in here and get something done. Where's the big chameleon ambush? It's gotta be coming soon. Oh! Where are those chameleons at? Oh, there they are. Okay. Now Premium Bow's showing off his chameleons a little bit. And I think this is basically going to be all she wrote. I like Kodark trying to take this expansion just to stop himself from starving. And Kodark's playing really well, man. Like, he is going to the bottom of this game. And he's like, man, I got 8 squirrels left, dude. I'm going to make it happen with these 8 squirrels. You don't know me. Sent to the kitchen, though. Starves to death. And his partner taps out, too. Great game, man. I love to see a 2v2 every now and then. Not too many of them, because they're normally pretty long. Alright, I'm going to do Reza vs. Mishi, and then I'm going to take a very, very quick, like, 1 minute break, just to grab something to drink, use the bathroom, that kind of thing, so... nothing long or anything, so I think I can muscle through one more before a break, though. Let's do it. Reza vs. Mishi. Alright, spawning in the 3 o'clock position on this wonderful icy map, we've got Mishi. And his opponent at the 9 o'clock, we've got Reza. Alright, interesting to see the moles in Mishi's build. I'd like to ask him about that. I think it makes sense. Like, I feel like the moles still have a pretty good identity as this unit that can kind of like help push, help with pushes or help with defenses in the early to the mid game. Or I've even seen some crazy gifs from some of our trolley community members where they build like 1,000 moles in one game or some crazy stuff like that. Oh god, what was that one game? I want to say it was a Logian, but I could be wrong, where it was like a 2v2 where you just made an ass ton of defensive structures and then sold everything off at the very end and made like 200 moles or something crazy like that. Pretty sure it was Logan. Yeah, thanks for the submission, Premium Bow, man. Really cool game, and you definitely played super well. I think I was most impressed by that mole waiting to take out the campfire. That was super smart. Interesting play out of Mishi here, going for a couple straight turrets. And if you notice, those turrets aren't in the most ideal spot. Yeah, this main entrance to the base is still pretty exposed, and I'm kind of concerned for him. Like, I was kind of running my mouth too much during the early game, not paying attention enough, but I wonder why Mishi doesn't have Warrens out yet. Oh, you know what it is? That makes sense. Rizzo went for a 4-farm double Warren attack, which is, it's the rush. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And it's really important that the aggressive styles don't fade, right? Because that keeps you on your toes, man. If nobody's doing, like, get on the ladder and just 4-farm double Warren people, man. I'm serious. Like, we need that for a healthy metagame, because if people aren't going for these rush builds, it's going to allow everyone's just going to go straight economy, and there's not going to be a lot of variance in the early game. So good play out of Reza. He managed to take a farm. He took a couple turrets, and overall, I think he's in a pretty good spot this game. He's up at least 60 food on Mishi. And in the meantime, interesting. So Mishi sells his ward, decides to throw it back down again. Looking for that 8th farm. There it is. And I wonder what his decision is going to be out of this after this. And Reza very smartly trying to run around the defenses, and Mishi just still doesn't have squirrels up. I wonder why he decided to sell that Warren and just kind of instantly replace it down. This is gonna hurt, man. This is very aggressive out of Reza here, and he's not all in or anything. If you notice, on the back foot, he didn't keep making Warrens, right? Like, he just made some farms. He's saving up some money. That's fine. It might not necessarily be for anything. He's just kind of attacking, and while you're attacking, your money tends to build up a little bit. No big deal, but that's going to allow him to return home with some serious options under his belt. And yeah, if you notice, like, Reza's gotten, at least 200 food of value at this point. So really, it's up to Mishi to make a comeback here. And Mishi just kind of struggling to hold on at this point, get out a couple squirrels, get up to those 8 farms as soon as he can. But Reza is very smartly, using this tempo advantage to push in and not lose this momentum, and constantly just being annoying as hell against Mishi and just continue to take out these Warrens and prevent any kind of unit production from happening on the side of Bellified over here. And gotta throw that turret down, but right underneath Hopper's nose, and gonna come in here and go ahead and knock that turret out before it has a chance to get up or anything like that. And I really love this strategy from Reza, man. I think it was a good mix-up, like, especially if you compete in tournaments and stuff. Guys, you gotta throw in a couple builds like this. Like, I know it's quote-unquote cheesy, all that kind of stuff, but don't be afraid to rush in some aggression. Like, if I'm playing against you in a best of 3 and you do the exact same thing every single game, I'm gonna know what to do and how to counter you, right? And I think maybe Reza, Mishi's a pretty popular streamer, is pretty well-known high-level player, and everyone kind of knows Mishi for the macro style, so maybe Reza kind of had that game sense coming into it. It was like, you know what, I know Mishi's a macro player, so therefore I'm going to 4-farm double Warren him, and it worked out really effectively, so great game sense there. Okay. I will be right back, guys. Super tiny break. Don't go anywhere. I'll be gone for like a minute, I swear. All right, I'm back. I told you it wouldn't be very long. How long was that? Like a minute and a half? No big deal, right? Thanks everybody for watching, man. I really appreciate it. I have so much fun doing this. Like, it's already been an hour and a half, and time just flies by. I'm actually surprised it's already been an hour and a half. I just genuinely love talking about RTS games, man. And if you're new to this, I think a lot of you are kind of constant viewers, but if you are new, I do this every Tuesday and Thursday night, 8 p.m. EST. I normally have Icebox with me, but he is gone for now. And a little bit about me, Delthius. I got Tooth and Tail around when it launched, but I've been playing StarCraft for 20 years. I play around the master level in StarCraft 2. I watch a lot of the pro scene games. I could talk for hours about Korean esport athletes and what's going on in the meta and stuff. So really fun to. I've always been a big fan of casters, so it's really fun to just have a good time and give my shot at casting, with this great game. And I got to meet Andy Schatz and Dexter at TwitchCon, and man, those guys were so awesome, dude. I can't say enough nice things about them. They were super cool, super down to earth, really excited to talk to me. We went out, had dinner, and hung out for a while, and just great guys, man. Great company. I'm interested to see what's going on with the patch stuff right now. I didn't get a chance to watch Andy stream yesterday, so if anybody knows the latest gossip on what units are gonna get changed here soon, let me know, and we'll throw that in there for sure. All right. Enough nonsense. I'm just stalling until the next game, right? Okay, what do we got here? We got the gentleman coming up next. delicious, delicious beverage. Alright, the Gentleman versus Snettle. Let's do it. Okay, spawning in the 9 o'clock position. As the capital is spellified, we've got the Gentleman. And spawning in the 3 o'clock position, as the best commander, Hopper, we've got Snettle. Alright, let's take first, before we talk about builds, let's talk a little bit about the map. Fairly balanced, obviously a little bit towards Snettle's favor. I mean, you gotta love it if you're Snettle in this position, I feel like, right? You got 2 expansions just given to you, straight up. The map is actually really small. I know it looks big, but there's absolutely no point to this part of the map down here at all. So you can kind of just envision that little diamond of water around there. Just cut that out, right? Because that's not part of the map at all. It's really this like L shape in the other 3 corners. And the Gentleman does have access to an early expansion of his own and a campfire, which are the most important things. I know I said it a few times, but really, like, yes, this favors Snettle slightly because his third base is easier to get, but really the map isn't unfair as long as both players have access to a natural base. And what I mean by natural base, guys, is like this expansion right here would be considered a natural for Snettle, and likewise this would be a natural for the Gentleman. And the natural base is just kind of a base that is not necessarily completely easy to defend, but you have a really good opportunity to defend it, and it's right there next to your main base. And the differentiator between a natural base would be called a pocket base. And a pocket base would be like, imagine if Snettle spawned here, right? So this is his zone. And this base that's actually his main, in that situation would be a pocket base. So if you hear me say things like a natural base or a pocket base, that's kind of what I'm talking about here. And both players playing really standard up front here. I like it. Snettle taking a very, very early expansion as I say that, but you notice the Gentleman goes up to that like 3 to 5 tier 1 Warrens before making a big decision I've been talking about, and I think that's really standard. Decides to get the campfire because, hey, why not? I think it's a really good investment regardless. And now I wonder, okay, so both players kind of lucked out that the other player is going greedy, right? Because the Gentleman did not take this expansion as a response to Snettle taking an expansion of his own. He just kind of felt like that's what we're doing here. Good game sense out of Gentleman, I suppose. So now the big decisions we're waiting to see here are going to be who decides to rush up to a tier 2 or tier 3 unit, and how hard both players decide to go on that second base and saturate it up. And you got to be careful about that, man. I don't want to see either player taking too many farms. I think 4 is okay. I think a good rule of thumb if you're new players is try to maintain an 8 farm economy at all times, right? So, but we're at the 3-minute mark right now. I know I've got the timer censored, so there's no spoilers on the videos, but by about the 4:45-ish mark, you want to make sure on your expansion base you've got 4 farms that are up and running. Not starting there, but done and mining, because then you're going to be on 12 farms for a few seconds, but you'll go back down to 8, and 8's really where you want to be, I feel like, for the majority of the game. And there's a lot of reasons for that, too. I mean, an 8-farm economy is plenty to reinforce an army or to invest in a new army by throwing down Warrens and stuff, but it's also not going to mine you out too hard. I mean, you got to remember, there's only 2 expansions available for both players, right? So if you just saturate the hell out of your expansions early, you might mine out against an opponent who is a little more conservative. And the attack's coming in here now and kind of favoring Settle's position with these skunks. I mean, good micro from the Gentleman to target down 1 skunk, but those skunks just absolutely devastate tier 1 units very, very, very strongly. Which is hilarious because it never works like that when I play the skunk for some reason. Like, I just don't understand. I've tried the skunk so many times, and every time it just feels like to me it gets nothing done. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but that's how it's supposed to happen there. I mean, that skunk's just got so much work done, and Gentleman did use some good micro to get one of them down, but here's a really interesting thing. Okay, this is where the game's going to start diverging, right? Because up till now, both players kind of were like, yeah, we'll get the tier 2 we like, and a bunch of tier 1, sure, but Snettle went super hard on saturating his second base, and meanwhile, the Gentleman went for a very, very quick woof here. But Snettle's not messing around either, and he's throwing 2 owls up on the back end, which actually makes sense because for just slightly longer, his economy is going to be really, really pumping. And the gentleman finally meeting that saturation on his second base. And if you notice, the 5-minute mark just hit. So right now, the gentleman has 6 bases that are mining, 6 bases that are on the way, and the Snettle is actually mining with all 12 bases there. So that's really like a good example of crisp saturate. I mean, both those bases were taken very, very early. I feel like if you take your second base around like 3:30, and then take like 4 farms after the gristmill's up, you'll kind of finish around the right time to maintain that 8 farm saturation after your first 4 farms mine out. Because if you are a new player and you're not sure what I'm talking about, farms last for 5 minutes, right? So they generate a total of 300 food. So you start the game of 4 farms, and at the 5-minute mark on the dot, those 4 farms are going to go barren. So good thing to keep in mind, and that's where the 5-minute mark is such a driver of this game, and what kind of keeps the matches kind of short, kind of interesting and scrappy, is that you're not going to be mining for very long, man. I mean, mining out in 5 minutes is freaking fast as hell. That really puts a small timer on this game, and I love this move out of the gentleman. Well, I was kind of mouthing off earlier. Snettle kind of caught the gentleman trying to take this expansion, so he canceled all those farms, and then after Snettle left, he went back to take all those farms again, but Snettle's being greedy of himself, too. He took all those farms there, and this is kind of what I'm talking about, man. Like, since these guys are both going really, really hard on saturating bases and shooting up to 14 farms, 16 farms, instead of trying to just, like, maintain that 8 farms slow and steady, we're going to be mining out fairly soon here, and if you notice, Snettle didn't really... It's kind of a tip if you're watching Snettle. Like, you want to most likely keep one of those farms not taken. So when we get to the starvation point, which is going to come sooner than you think, you can throw that last farm on. And I wonder if that's why the gentleman kept those 2 farms available for himself. But now the gentleman's in a rough spot. But actually, to be honest, man, a lot of Falcons and a lot of turrets is a really strong answer to an owl player, especially an owl player who's got the skunk as well. Because obviously the skunk and the owl are completely useless against falcons, right? But Snettle does have a good squirrel line to buffer. So really, Snettle needs to kind of play linebacker with his squirrels and keep his owls alive, where the gentleman's going to want to try to get in there and gun down those owls as quick as he can. But these defensive investments, though, are paying their weight in gold here for Snettle. I mean, the gentleman does have the ferrets available, but even if you get the ferret, yeah, if you notice, the gentleman takes 1 farm, but keeps 1 open. That's a very smart play. I highly recommend it when you get to these, like, split map situations, because if it really comes down to it, and these guys keep trading back and forth, the gentleman should win this game just on the fact that he's going to be able to last, 5 minutes longer in the starvation period, right? But yeah, what I was saying earlier is, yeah, as long as, if this game keeps going even, it will eventually favor the gentleman. So Snettle has to come in here and get something done. And I feel like a really good response to this is also just building a freaking ton of turrets, man. But that's a little much. I mean, that kind of puts you on this defensive structure. But at the same time, man, if gentleman just kind of sits back and doesn't wipe his army over and over to these drumfire cannons, to the free mice coming out of the owl, he's gonna win this game for sure, because he saved that last farm. So I would have loved to see the gentleman instead invest a lot of money into just an enormous turret line. I think a really big turret line does a lot of work against owls, and this is gonna be dangerous, man. I know I keep saying, like, oh, all the gentleman has to do is sit around because he saved a farm, sure, but it's easier said than done, man. I mean, Snettle's army is nothing to scoff at here, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, here soon, Snettle's going to have 2 additional owls with him, which is going to mean he's going to have a ton of mice. I think it's something like 10 mice or 12 mice per owl or something like that. I should know those numbers, but I don't because I'm a horrible person. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you do when you're an owl player. You just kind of run in there, and the owl's going to generate mice. I think it's like 1 every 5 seconds. I could be wrong. Up to 12, right? One for a whole minute. So basically, after every minute, you want to run in there with your owls. And oh my God, if Snettle's Falcons get caught out of position here, that's going to be absolutely devastating. And the patience of the gentleman is really starting to pay off here, as the vast majority of those expensive units that can hit air just got absolutely wiped by Snettle. And Snettle was trying to make a slick play there by trying to run in and harass some of these Warrens, but the gentleman saw it. You know, that only works if the gentleman's out of position with his army, or if the gentleman doesn't react fast enough. But the gentleman was fairly well in position, and I mean, he saw Hopper running over there with the wing demons right in front of him, right? So really quick reaction time out of the gentleman, just absolutely hammers Snettle, and now I feel like Snettle is in an even worse situation because, again, man, he lost so many of those Falcons, and we're going to hit starvation here soon, guys. This isn't going to last a lot longer. You can tell by the amount of wheat that's still on these farms over here by the pigs, and the gentleman decides now's the time to pull the trigger. With 18 Falcons and 2 Wolves buffing them up, the Falcons drop very, very quickly. Snettle gonna have enough, man. All those squirrels just really helping out in that engagement. You know, helping do a lot of damage to the Falcons there. And this is Snettle's time, man. He's got the momentum, he's got the tempo. He's got to come in here and get something done. And this is the target for sure, man. If he wipes that out, that's gonna be it. And nicely played by Snettle, man. Manages to take a really good victory off the gentleman there. And the gentleman's not a bad player, man. He's constantly up on the top of the ladder, so really cool game, man. Great submission. And I think the gentleman submitted that, and I love it when people submit losses, man. Really cool thing to do. Alright. 940. I normally go till 10. Lately, I've been giving you guys a little more. I don't know. I might go a little longer. We'll see. I want to make sure I hit everybody. It looks like... Yeah, I kind of organize these like an order of submission and then also in unique order, so everybody gets at least one game on the board. Maybe what I'll do is we'll do this Necrucifier game, and then maybe the free-for-all, and we'll probably stop there. That's 12 replays, and 12 is normally what I shoot for, so I think that's pretty good. And we got a couple lined up we can save for Thursday, so that'll be perfect. But of course, I'm going to get a ton of new replays from all you beautiful nerds out there for Thursday too, right guys? Right, that's what I thought. Alright, let's hop into it. Game number 11. Necrucifer versus Best Sequoia NA. Let's do it. Spawning in the 3 o'clock position as a beautiful red mouse hopper, we've got Best Sequoia NA. And in the 10 o'clock, as a greedy, filthy Archimedes, we've got Necrucifier. Alright, so looking at these builds, yeah, I like this addition of the mole. I think it's a smart play, and especially if you're not super keen on the pigeons. Like, pigeon isn't as much of like an auto include as it used to be, right? So I've seen people kind of teching out of it. I actually haven't seen a whole lot of pigeons at all tonight, so that's kind of interesting. And you know, squirrel mole is pretty good. I also like I actually really want to get into that squirrel lizard setup that Necrucifier is going for, because it seems really cool, because it gives you that option to do something crazy like a 4-farm double warren with lizards for a lot of harassment early game. But I don't know, man. Like, to be honest, now that lizards have 1 range, I think if you're gonna go, you know, if somebody like Chip is watching or something like that, let me know. But if you're gonna go 4-farm double warren, you're probably better off doing that with squirrels nowadays, right? Because the lizards still will beat squirrels in engagement, so I don't think lizards are as good at that super early harass attack as they used to be, because that 1 range, I believe that allows, you know, more pigs to be shooting them at a time and stuff, where the squirrel, like, imagine if Best Sequoia went for a 4-farm double warren, right? Like, you could get in here, take that pig out with only that pig firing at it, take these warrens out with nothing firing at it, whereas if it was 6 lizards coming in, those 6 lizards would be getting hit if they tried to attack that 4 warren at all. So I think it's better if you are going to go for the 4-farm double warren, which is that's my assignment to you guys, man. That's your homework. That's your TnTTV homework, and I want to see some replays of it on Thursday, man. And that'll actually be really good, because it should be fast games, right? But let's see some more aggression in the meta, guys. Like, don't be shy, man. Throw down a 4-farm double warren squirrel game and have fun, man. Who cares if you lose? It's just a game. Don't sweat the ladder too much, man. That's what a lot of people, like, I've been playing competitive games my whole life, man, and I'm pretty try-hard. Like, I'm pretty high rank in the games I play a lot, and a lot of people get ladder anxiety and stuff, man, and I know it's easy. It's kind of weird to say that, where it's like, to your buddy who's depressed or something, where it's like, oh, just don't be depressed, man. Like, I know it doesn't work that way, but just don't worry about your ladder rating, man, especially in a game like Tooth and Tail that's kind of small. If you want to hop on, I mean, even with the community being kind of small, dude, I've never had a time where I've hopped on to Tooth and Tail and had to sit there for a rank queue. It's always basically instant. I mean, if you try to find an unranked game, though, it could take a while, so you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck playing ranked, and, you know, you're going to get put against people of your own skill level. Like, I play ranked in Overwatch basically exclusively, and yeah, I'm a gold player. Okay, cool. I'm not a platinum, I'm not a diamond, but you know what's cool about that is I play against other gold players, and it's fun. You know, it's all right. I'm gold league. Who cares? You know, maybe next season I might hit platinum if I play a lot, and if not, I'm just having fun running around wrecking nerds. So no big deal. I think that's my big takeaway is from tonight's stream is you know, don't be afraid to hop into the rank queue. Forget about the ladder points, man. They don't mean anything. You know, and also, you know, don't be shy on doing aggressive builds, man. The meta really needs it, and we saw out of Reza, you know, that 4-farm double Warren build really was still pretty effective. Okay, so I haven't really said anything about this game at all, so maybe I should start talking about that. Both these guys kind of skimped out on their Tier 1 units and went for a ton of Tier 2. Now, Crucifier over here is kind of getting the smorgasbord of Tier 2 options. He's got the Ferret, he's got the Falcons, he's got the Chameleons, and he's taking this aggressive... Oh my god, look at this. This is like the no man's land. Now, I'm kind of favoring the Crucifier a little bit here because he's got the Ferrets, right? But at the same time, Sequoia is not messing around, dude. Going straight up to 6 Chameleons, which is going to counter Ferrets pretty hard. It's not going to be an easy thing to micro Ferrets against invisible units you can't detect. So both these players went for a really unorthodox, greedy opening, and the icing on the top of the cake here is that owl play out of Sequoia, man. Just not messing around at all. You know, and I really want to stress out what these players are doing with this farm saturation here, right? Like, if you notice, both guys just went for 3. They're not going crazy. You know, you can't just take every single farm right when you get the expansion, especially when it's so contestable like this. And I'd like to see a couple turrets out of Sequoia, but it's not a super big deal. And actually, like, I don't want to see it because the Crucifier is Falcons, or Ferrets, right? But yeah, Sequoia's aware of that now, so building any kind of turrets to try to create a contain is just not going to happen. And, ooh, snipes that campfire. Very well done by the Crucifier. It almost gets punished by the Wing Demons of Sequoia, but just a little too late. And the Crucifier is starting to feel a little more comfortable, you know, mainly focusing on this position here, because he knows whoever controls this middle of the map is going to control this game and eventually a victory. But here we go. Hopper's got all those Chameleons like I've been talking about. Get in there and absolutely dominate those Falcons right off the bat, but man, those Falcons really getting some damage done on those Chameleons and manages to take them all out. If you were Sequoia there, you probably really needed to focus. Now, that would have been really difficult because you're trying to, you know, micro your Chameleons, but at the same time in that engagement, he really needed to micro his Falcons to target his opponent's Falcons too, right? Because at that point, those are the only real threat to the Chameleons. So the Chameleons do end up going down, and the Crucifier kind of overextending a little bit and decides to tap out. Yeah, like, he wasn't in a bad spot, but sometimes, you know, maybe you get a little mad or something like that, or it's a lot easier for me to comment because I have the all-seeing eye, right? I've got the army values, I've got the income, I can see everything, and the Crucifier overextended in that last push, and then he kind of, like, you know, recognizes he is overextended. He kind of overestimated how much damage he took there from the overextension and tapped out early. I think the game was actually still pretty even. But, hey man, Sequoia's not complaining. You always gotta stick it out, man. Okay, guys. You can actually hit Invisible Chameleon with Ferrets by targeting the commander, says the Pickpocket. That's really interesting. Yeah, I guess if they're all clumped up around the commander, but you gotta know about the Chameleons. I feel like that's one of the hardest things or so much of what the chameleons add to an army. I mean, besides being just great all-around tanky damage-dealing units, is just the surprise, right? Like, you might be looking at your opponent's army like, oh, he's only got 12 squirrels, but he's got 12 squirrels and 6 chameleons you can't see, right? Alright, everybody. I think we're going to end it here on a crazy match. We'll do a free-for-all. It should be good. I think DJ's in this game. I could be wrong. Yep. DJ Soak, Premium Bow, and Banner Bastion in a free-for-all. Having fun. Crazy madness here. So, in the 5 o'clock position, we've got Banner Bastion. In the 1 o'clock, we've got DJ Soak. And in the 9 o'clock, we've got Premium Bow. And this is a little bit reminiscent of the free-for-all I casted on show 10, I believe it was, with Nikki and Insane Gesture and one other. I can't remember who it was. I want to say Obscution, but I could be wrong. Where DJ is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here, right? Because the way that this map is kind of engineered, the only way Banner Bastion can get to Premium Bow is to go through DJ Soak's base, and same for Premium Bow trying to get to Banner Bastion. Now, the upside... Now, this is interesting because this happened to Insane Jester, and he just got screwed because he had no expansions available to him either. Now, DJ is in the middle where he's got to fight enemies coming from both sides, but DJ's got literally all the gristmills besides this one pocket base that Banner Bastion has back here available to him. So this is going to be pretty neat. I'm actually looking forward to this game. See how DJ plays this out, because he's got to be aware that's what's happening. Yeah, he's scattered enough in the map to realize that both players have to go through him, so DJ's a little... excuse me, a little bit of my protagonist in this match, right? Because the cards are stacked against him, because Premium Bow or Banner Bastion can kind of just sit back and let the other guys kill each other, and it feels really bad for Premium Bow here. He's in a very difficult spot. He's still running that build we saw in the ladder that he ran without traditional tier 1 units like the Squirrel or Lizard, which is pretty interesting to see. And I think this is the right move to make out of Premium Bow for sure. Like, he's gotta come in here and start claiming some of this territory as his own. That expansion might be a little much, but I'd like to see Premium Bow throwing down a couple turrets here, and maybe even a Drumfire after a couple turrets. Like, you don't want to go straight for the Drumfire because it's pretty risky. But if you could throw up, like, I think I saw in one of the recent tournaments, like Classic Metal had like 2 turrets that he threw up, right? And then he threw the Drumfire cannon up after that, which makes a lot of sense. And let's see what Bastion's up to. You know, Bastion's just kind of chilling, playing super standard, getting a ton of money up though. We'll have to see what he decides to do. He did take both these expansions over here that are available to him, and man, this is really interesting how aggressive these other players have been, right? Because I was saying, like, all these expansions belong to DJ, but not really the case, to be honest. I mean, Bastion and Bow were not shy about running out on the map and claiming some territory as their own, which was exactly what they needed to do in this position. Because otherwise, you know, imagine if Bow just went for like a standard build and was kind of turtling up over here. Imagine if DJ just built some barbed wire right there, came over to this side with Banner Bastion, built some barbed wire right here, then great, I get 4 bases, you know. And that's ideally, like, DJ, he's got to be just fooling around at this point, man. 50 barbed wires? That's insane. He's building this absolute impenetrable barbed wire in between both of his opponents, and unfortunately for DJ, he only managed to lock in one of these extra gristmills behind his impenetrable barbed wire line. I think he ideally would have liked to move this barbed wire, you know, like right here, and taken that base for himself. And you know, as much as I said all these bases belong to DJ, you know, now DJ's in the really economic hurt here. And you know, Premium Bow's got the owls, but look at this out of Banner Bastion. Oh my god. Banner Bastion, if you build all those falcons, run around, get into Premium Bow's base, and click on that, you're gonna be my freaking hero, dude. That would be so amazing. I really hope that's what you're going for, because that would be so awesome to watch. It's gotta feel bad when you've built 70 barbed wire at this point. Oh my god, DJ. And then your opponent's like, yeah, I've got like 12 wing demons. And then your other opponent's like, yeah, I can eventually get owls. And alright, come on, man. I want to see this Metal Gear Solid Snake Splinter Cell Sam Fisher mission Bastion's got to do. He's got to sneak over. Can he even walk through there? Is that going to kill his... No, okay, commanders don't take barbed wire damage. I was just kidding, guys. I knew that. Okay, yeah, here he comes. Do it, man. Oh, but can he get through the balloons? No, he can't. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to be able to get through those balloons, to be honest. I mean, the best he could do was only get hit by those two, and that's still enough to kill his commander. Now, I think the commander gets more and more HP as the game goes on, but now, yeah, he realizes that shit ain't gonna work, so he sells the Falcons off. He's gonna go for something else, you know. Maybe some chameleons would be a good idea here with some pigeons, but oh my god, so many balloons are on this map, man. 16 balloons here. That is absolutely crazy. What a crazy match we've got ourselves into, and my money is on Premium Bow, to be honest. I mean, he's got 3 bases available to him, plus a campfire. And he's got the owls, so eventually he should be able to mass up, you know, 5 to 6 owls and get in there. But Bastion's got $2,000 in his bank here, and just kind of figuring out what he's gonna do with that. I mean, obviously this isn't a macro error or something like that. You know, Bastion's a really good player. He's just trying to figure out how he's gonna break this puzzle. And it's gonna be difficult, no matter what way you slice it, man. I mean, so many balloons just right there on his front door. He's got no other way to attack. He doesn't have anything like an owl to just gain a ton of value over time, and decides maybe the winged demons are the way to go about it. I don't know, maybe winged demons, you know, now we did see from that replay with Chip, if you guys remember, where he had like 2 or 3 winged demons being buffed up by the wolf that absolutely deleted balloons, but balloons in this... You know, this frequency, this saturation of balloons is a big difference than like 1 or 2 balloons spread out. I mean, I'm not even sure if you're going to want to come in. Oh my god, okay, maybe 30 falcons might be enough, guys. And 30 sounds like a lot. I don't think I've ever seen 30 falcons in one game. Man, what a crazy free-for-all match. Alright, Premium Bow's got the money, man. I'm expecting to see a bunch of owls start getting laid out. There he goes. Maybe get up to like 5, I think is pretty appropriate. Oh, going for 6. Now, I wonder what DJ's strategy is here. I don't think he has one. I think he's just messing around, man. He did delete most of his barbed wire and resell it. I wonder what the thought process behind that was. I think it's just like, I've got enough balloons at this point. I don't really need that much barbed wire, but I think DJ is just kind of trying to make life difficult for the other guys, because DJ's got to be aware, even if he saturates up this last base, his economy is just so far behind his opponents here. And 9 owls is very reaching here for Premium Bow. I don't think he's going to have the economy to build that many owls, but I could be wrong. That's quite a few owls. I mean, 180... times 10 is 1,800, right? So that's pretty close to 1,800 worth of food. And, you know, what, 1620? Did I do that right? You're never supposed to do math live on stream, but I think that was correct. I am a math person, so I can kind of do it. Yeah, man, DJ's like, I'm the gatekeeper. I don't think DJ's gonna take more than 1 farm at a time. I mean, this one gristmill is essentially... what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's like 35 minutes. DJ could drag this game on with his insane amount of balloons. So I think the strategy for DJ is just survive. And Premium Bow has 1 base left for him to kind of be sneaky with. And Banner Bastion hasn't even touched this further south base. But oh my god, somehow, how did he do that? Somehow Banner Bastion managed to sneak over here with all his falcons. Damn it, how did I miss that? Great play. Oh my god. All those owls that Premium Bow's been investing in. How did Bastion manage to sneak over there? There must be some little route. I don't know. Premium Bow kind of realizes he got a fast one on him, and now he's thinking the same thing. Like, how the hell did you manage to get over there? I'm looking on the map, but I just don't see it. Man, that was such a good play from Bastion. I'm gonna have to rewatch this and see how Bastion was able to get his commander over there to that campfire. Because that was huge, and now he's just gonna go all in on these balloons, which isn't gonna be an effective trade, but will still get some damage done. Man, you know, this is looking more and more favored towards DJ, and I like DJ's approach here. You know, kind of downsize on the defensive structure to just those 9 balloons that you really need to stay alive around one base, you know what I mean? I mean, if one base doesn't have 9 balloons protecting it, it's basically wide open. I mean, every top level player knows that. And he goes up to 4 foxes with a wolf to buff him up, and the wolf-fox combo is actually really good because he increased attack speed. I mean, Fox already moves super fast, obviously, but that increased attack speed kind of makes up for the nerfs that have come lately to it, and maybe 4 foxes is a little too much, DJ. I don't know, you know better than me. You're like one of the best players in this game. I'm not sure if your economy is going to be able to support that at this point, though. We'll have to see, and Banner Bastion is going to respond by getting up several tier 3 units of his own, and I think Premium Bo is still just kind of wandering around, scratching his head like, how the hell did Banner Bastion get over there? Because I'm asking myself the same thing. It doesn't look like there is a way through these trees. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what you do at this point. Like, trying to get up some more owls seems like a good idea, but it's gonna be rough. I mean, no matter what way you slice it. Man, I'm really confused. I feel bad as a caster and observer. I didn't catch that, but somehow Bastion managed to steal this campfire and then was able to kind of just teleport over there and get his units in position. Oh, wait, is it this way? No, you can't go up that way. I'm still like looking on the map. Oh my god, no, that isn't it. I'll never know, man. I'll never know. Yeah, I just don't see it anywhere. Huh. You know what it is maybe the game advanced enough to where, because your commander gets more HP over time, right? So the game might have advanced to the point where Hopper kind of had enough HP to take a couple shots from the balloon, and Banner Bastion was able to just kind of barely get over there in time. And look at these buffed up foxes versus buffed up badger, and DJ is getting a ton of work done. Barely doesn't lose any of his units here, and he's got to be really careful. He's got nothing he can do against these Warrens, obviously, but he should be able to essentially just snipe out anything as it spawns. And Bastion is not in a good position anymore, and I like this out of DJ, just leaving these 3 foxes and the wolf just sitting right here on top of all of Bastion's economy. Runs back. Well, oh, did he? Oh no, he's just waiting. I think he like ran back at first to throw down a farm. That was like, nah, I'll wait till the very last second to allow myself to live just slightly longer. And man, Bastion is basically just pinned at this point, just kind of checkmated. And Premium Bo, yeah, he's trying to be conservative with his last couple farms as well. Comes in here, throws down a few owls, because that's really going to be his answer, but that's still pretty deadly against these foxes here. If those foxes get in and get a good shot or 2 off on those owls, especially 3 of them being buffed up, it's gonna get some serious work done. And Bastion, man, kind of up against the wall here, kind of cornered in by DJ's pretty smart 3 fox wolf play, I gotta be honest. And DJ decides, you know what, I'm not gonna take this all the way. 45 minutes later, with trying to starve out my opponents completely, and just goes ahead and throws down a bunch more Warrens here. And we'll have to see. I'm gonna fast forward because this is a pretty long game, so we're at two times now until we get to some action. It looks like DJ is just gonna keep applying pressure on Bastion. And now he's got squirrels, though. Just a couple squirrels. Well, actually, as I say that, he's building a ton of squirrels, but really doesn't need them, right? Like, he could have just built a few squirrels to be able to take out these buildings. And I think this is where Bastion is gonna get knocked out of the game here. And in Camp Bo, he's just getting these owls up. Maybe it's time to sell some of these defensive structures, perhaps. But at the same time, that barbed wire is still pretty good for him. And it's gotta feel bad if you're Bastion here to get knocked out of the game where you got such a big bank. But overall, man, I absolutely love that play out of Bastion, sending those like 30 Falcons in to just totally cripple Bo. If Bastion didn't do that, then Bo would have basically won this game for sure. I mean, he had 9 owls in the work, and 5 owls is insane. So anything over that is just crazy, right? Let's see, we're kind of in that Mexican standoff scenario going on here. Both players staring each other down as a tumbleweed crosses the grainy, dusty, old-school western town, right? And really, I mean, Bo's kind of out on economy now, so he's just got to come in here and hopefully get some value done over time with these mice. You know, wait a minute, rinse and repeat. I'd like to see him sell off a couple of these balloons, maybe try to get up like 1 more owl. But the balloons aren't terrible either. You know, if he sells off too many balloons, then DJ's going to be inclined to attack. But DJ doesn't have anything to deal with these, this barbed wire here. I mean, of course he's got the moles, but I'm not sure if the moles are going to be enough, to be perfectly honest. With all those balloons kind of contesting it, I don't think the moles would work to penetrate the barbed wire, so we'll have to see. It looks like, no, DJ gave up on his outlast you by starvation here. So if Premium Bo can hold on to this and you know, hold the front against all of these squirrels coming out of DJ, he should win, because this one farm that hasn't been taken yet by Premium Bo should allow him to stay in the game. Oh, but DJ has got this entire base in the 6 o'clock position that wasn't really mined to the fullest potential by Banner Bastion, so I think DJ's in a pretty commanding spot here. Look at all these toads coming in. Are they going to get connections on the squirrels and on the foxes? The one fox almost dies. DJ's got to be careful with those foxes, man. Super critical unit, especially at this phase in the game, and doesn't lose any yet, which is pretty impressive. One goes down to barbed wire, one goes down to getting sniped, and yeah, that's what I was worried about for DJ, man. It's, even though he's got the better economy, that's really reaching to try to run through that barbed wire, and that barbed wire absolutely paying off in dividends here for Premium Bo. I mean, what, that was $100 worth of barbed wire there, right? And essentially just wiped DJ's entire army with the help of a little bit of support from things like balloons. And Premium Bo is in this game, but only for 5 minutes more, and he doesn't really have anything to his name anymore. He's only got 600 food really left. You know, just a little bit more from that farm. We'll have to see what he decides to do. At this point, it looks like he just wants to be annoying and build as much barbed wire and drum fire cannons as possible, but I mean, DJ, the big decider in this game was that Banner did not mine this base out. So after DJ was able to take out Banner Bastion, he had all of that. Oh, look at this. Of course, it isn't a DJ game without moles, right? And here they come. 27 moles right in the back end of Premium Bo to just knock that one gristmill out, and really all he's got to do is come up here and knock this other gristmill out. But 2 drumfire cannons. This is like a tower defense thing going on here, man. 2 drumfire cannons and a balloon. I don't think that other drumfire cannon is going to be up in time. The barbed wire is definitely a good call out of Premium Bo, but DJ deciding the math isn't there in his favor, comes home, does a little bit of saturation, but it's going to be hard for him to command that army now. He's going to have to run back through this barbed wire, which will slow him down, but there aren't any balloons in position anymore to just go ahead and like auto-kill the commander of the opponent's army, right? So yeah, he comes up to the north, and he might have missed that window, though, to make this easy. Premium Bo, man. He's sticking into his very last breath, and here we go. The March of the Moles. DJ's family is all here, ready to fight, and oh my god, absolutely gets slaughtered. Rough stuff, man. But again, DJ still has that final gristmill, and I think that's really what this game is going to come down to, because no matter how well Bo plays, he will eventually farm out as soon as that last pig has had as much wheat as he can possibly muster from the soil there, so. We'll have to see. Definitely going to go to DJ, I think, at this point. Not that Premium Bo didn't play well. I think he played very well. But Banner Bastion doing that 30 Falcon trick. Just getting in there and wrecking those 9 owls while they're still under construction. And that's got to be really painful for Premium Bo to scout this base. It's basically completely mining over here for DJ. And tries to take a gristmill. That's going to immediately be shut down by the mole men of DJ, all his cousins and brothers and nephews. And we're fast forwarding a little bit, but I think that's basically it for this game. Looks like this base isn't going to last very much longer. Yeah, now Premium Bo is starving as that last farm is out, and you know, DJ was not ever able to crack this position. You gotta give Bo that, but this game is on a clock, man. It only lasts for so long, and that time is now. 3, 2, 1, blip. Whew. Definitely a good game. Alright. We did it, guys. We did 12 replays. That's what I promise you every week. At least 24 games. Always a blast. I can't believe it's already been 2 hours. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in Tooth and Tail TV. I'll be right back here Thursday night, 8 p.m. EST, for some more action. Send me more replays, guys. I really excited and happy. I'm still getting a lot of replay submissions, and that's super awesome. And make sure you send them to me through ToothAndTailTV at gmail.com, guys. A couple of people have kind of like tried to tag me in the Discord chat or direct message me in Discord and send them to me there, which is cool, and I can sometimes handle it, but it's easy to forget about games when that happens. So just know if you submit games to my Gmail, they will for sure get archived, get in the queue, get numbered, get on the list, and get in the show. Really, if I get a direct message, or if I get tagged, like, hey, check this replay out for TnTTV, then you're kind of rolling the dice on whether or not I'm going to remember it. So, really cool. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for the follow. Non-Ober, I appreciate it, man. And let's see what's going on. We got Mishi. Mishi's the man, dude. He's always streaming, always having a good time with Tooth and Tail. So, yeah, man. I think I'm going to give the host over to Mishi and call the stream for tonight. Thank you, everybody. I don't really have a lot of updates right now. I've been talking to a couple people about maybe trying to get a community website built. I think that would be really cool. Logan, man, I still need more skins from you. Whenever you're done, send them my way. I will try to remember for next show. Somebody else sent me skins. I feel really bad about it because they're really excited to get them on the show. Awkward Fish Guy, I'm so sorry, man. Next show for sure, I will get those on there. I don't really have anything else at this point. If anybody knows about upcoming tournaments, let me know. I don't think anything's on the docket at this point, but we need some more tournaments. We need some more competitive stuff to do. Yeah, okay, so your homework, I want to see some 4-farm, double Warren aggression on the ladder, guys. And I want to see replays of that. So send me some replays of you being aggressive, you trying to punish your opponent for going for an economic build, or maybe if the map is like, there's no way I'm going to be able to macro on this map, you know, pull the trigger, go aggressive, man. That's what I want to see. You know, submit me those replays at ToothAndTailTV at gmail.com, and that's all I got for you, man. You're all a bunch of beautiful nerds, and I think I'm going to go ahead and host Mishi here. So everybody enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you guys back on Thursday night at 8 p.m. EST. Take care, everybody.